Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, good viewers, watchers of content on the internet. We're back. Welcome to episode 93 of No Cooldown Podcast. Of course, I am that man Trip, some handsome man who does things on the internet that you listen to sometimes. But shouts to y'all. We appreciate y'all again. We are here for another episode, here to talk more gaming news as we get closer to the summer, man. I see it, man. Everything's ramping up. More games is dropping, more shows is dropping. X-Men 97 and all them stuff. They dropping Airbnbs and shit. Like, this is really good stuff is happening, and we're ramping up to some bigger stuff in the summer, just in terms of all media, not just video games, but video games especially. But again, make sure you go check us out on all audio podcast platforms, all social platforms. No Cooldown Podcast, except for Twitter, or Twitter X, we are No Cooldown Pod. Make sure you go check us all out, support us, check out the daily clips and content that we have rolling there. And of course, I'm joined by my podcast partner in crime. He is the number 9 ranked hater this side of the Mississippi. You know, the rankings might have changed a little bit because Kendrick Lamar is doing some crazy shit in the East and West, but at least on this side of the river, we have Weneasy in the building. What's going on, Weneasy?
Hey man, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be the hater representative on this podcast. I'm excited to get started.
Oh man, shit, that's too funny, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Hate has been at an all-time high this year, bro. This shit is ridiculous, man. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on, but again, we got all our bases covered in gaming, in hating, all that type of stuff. But we got to get right into it. There's a lot of stories to get into, a lot of juicy stuff we got to cover. So without further ado, Wen, is you ready?
Born ready, man.
Let's get into it. First and foremost, let's talk about Starfield. Yes, Starfield, Bethesda space baby, the giant project that, you know, might not have made the best initial impression, but work is still being done on the game. There's still a lot to be had with this franchise. Again, there was a bunch of interviews and stuff. There was an update video from Bethesda themselves. There was a Kind of Funny podcast. Shout out to the Kind of Funny Games crew that provided some details in the interview with Todd Howard. There's going to be some new display modes on console, performance modes, new shipbuilding features, city maps, new gameplay and difficulty options, additional things that are coming soon. There's going to be a May update that's going to bring a lot of fixes in performance and bug fixes in like the star maps and stuff and otherwise. And there apparently is a new DLC or major update called Shattered Space that is going to be coming this fall with a whole host of mechanics that are going to be on the way. A new story, apparently a new land vehicle, a whole lot of change that people have been asking for. People have had, you know, some qualms with the original version of Starfield. There's a lot to be had around here. So when with these changes, how are you feeling and how are you looking at Starfield in this moment?
Honestly, I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4, and after playing a bunch of Fallout 4, I'm like, man, I do miss the Bethesda, like, I literally was just telling you this before we started recording. I do enjoy the Bethesda, like, cycle of loot here, take this, build that. Like, it's so, I don't know what it is. It's just satisfied. It's the ADHD, like no other can really. It's cool. I know that when Starfield came out, I said a lot of shit about it, and I still agree. I still disagree that there's still a lot of problems with the game. Still very bland, but I am interested to see what they add in. I'm interested to see how it changes the gameplay. This has kind of made me keep an eye on Starfield, as opposed to these past couple months where I haven't even talked about or even thought about it in the long term at all. I am interested to jump back into a Bethesda title if they give it more care, but it's just one of those things of like, man, why did you? I know why they released it when they did, because I'm sure Xbox is like, bro, we need something out of you guys, but I still am kind of like hesitant. I'm very happy that it's on Game Pass, because if it wasn't, I definitely don't think that this would be enough to make me buy the game full price, but definitely enough to get me to re-download it later when all these patches and updates come through.
Yeah, I agree. Again, looking at Starfield, we already know that this is too big of an investment from Bethesda's front to kind of just like let lie. This can't be like it's not a Redfall situation where the whole game is untenable in the first place. You know what I'm saying? There's still some skeleton and bones, you know, and some structure in Starfield that is good and can provide that fun. But it's just the packaging, it's the presentation, it's some of the, again, the lack of performance options, is a little bit of the things that make it a silky smooth experience. You know, the loading screen thing, you know, just some odds at end here that don't really add up, you know, to a very immersive space sim, an immersive, you know, strong Bethesda game. There's some things, of course, they can't change, like the engine. There's going to be some things that still stick out as, you know, good old Bethesda with the character models and such, but you necessarily can't change those. But with the shaky start, they still have a lot of room to grow, and I'm pretty sure whether win, lose, or draw, they were going to have these plans in the first place to where they kept expanding on what the base of Starfield was, which is good. I don't think they would keep touting again Starfield as one of the most important RPGs of, you know, the new generation before launch or whatever, and not have additional support continually through its life cycle. And they planned, I think I've heard notes of them saying it's like a 10 to 15 year game, or, you know, like it has a long life cycle ahead of it. They have a lot of plans to expand it, and I can see a lot of potential in it. Of course, we all do, but now it's time to start putting in the groundwork to make things happen. And again, this update that's dropping May 15th with the, you know, the new maps of the cities, which is we needed that from day one, but, you know, better late than never. New difficulty options, the ship customization, performance modes and stuff. Those things are a good first start to at least help play catch up a little bit in the minds of the people, and get the, you know, solid ground before you start building with the big expansion in the fall and Shattered Space and you know, onwards into other updates. So it's not weird. It's just I'm glad that they're not dropping the ball, but I'm glad we're getting these updates. You know, we're starting to feel a little bit more of the intention behind it. Like, yo, we're not dead, guys. You know, we had a rough start, you know what I'm saying? We misstepped in the first couple strides, but we're gonna at least gonna keep trying to keep picking up pace, which is good. This is one they can't give up on. I don't think Xbox as a brand in general, let alone Bethesda, has any room to give up on, you know, arguably their biggest drop in the past few years right now. I don't think they have the wiggle room to do that, given their development cycle, what they have in the pipeline, Bethesda specifically, because after this, I think it's Elder Scrolls, because they're working on this, and then Elder Scrolls is next, which is some ways down the way. It's some years down the line. So they can't give up on it, for one, and two, it's for the good of the brand in general that a game that was so heavily marketed has to get that continual support. And again, Xbox Game Pass does come into play, because people can just jump right back in when it's time to, if you have Game Pass without the huge pricing commitment. I don't know if the expansion is going to be free or paid. I would hope it's free. I would hope at least the first one is free to kind of get people back on board and start pushing people in the direction of, okay, this is more of what we want Starfield to be. I also heard word about some of the custom creations and some like the mod support stuff. I think on console versions, or like just a custom creation portal or something. That I think that's on the way, which is again also good. Good. This is my whole footnote through this is just, let's not give up on this. You need to keep momentum and keep pushing for the good of Xbox's brand in general. Like, you got good stuff coming through, but this is, you can't just have that big of a, you know, an attempt and that big of an intended splash. You know, the landing might not have been stuck all the way, and then just give up on it like a Redfall. You know, this has got to be a continued, consistent, very, very critical effort on all parts for Bethesda, especially at this time when I don't think there's any Fallout, you know, game in the making, which we'll definitely touch on later in the show. There's no, you know, Elder Scrolls 6 is some ways down the line. There's, you know, it's just really Starfield right now in the front and center for them, and you know they've got to lock in. Maybe Wolfenstein or stuff might come to the woodwork. Well, actually, no, that's somebody else, right? I'm bugging.
Wolfenstein is
but post by Bethesda.
Yeah, they're published.
That's
I think it's like I want to say it's id, but yeah, it's not them. But if like,
but it's under their banner, you know what I mean? Like the only major Bethesda thing under Bethesda's banner is Starfield right now. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing else that's really pushing, unless they announce something at the Xbox Game Showcase this year that's like, oh, this is coming next year. Then that might take the heat off. But they've got to get through this year strong, because they're carrying a good percentage of the weight for Xbox's brand. So they have have to, they gotta start picking up pace. Things like, the land vehicles, a new story, all this stuff helps. So I'm glad to see that they're starting to have a bit more transparency and activity on the front of giving us updates, giving us, some info on what we want to know, what change we want to see with the game, and ultimately making it a better product in the end. I got the damn collector's edition, bro. I got that damn watch. Just because the watch is cool, though, right? So I would hope that my investment into this game in general is fulfilled over time, and we come back to see a much better product than how it started out. So we'll see how it goes, but so far I like the updates. I like the transparency, and again, we're definitely going to see more at the Xbox Game Showcase.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they move forward. I don't think they're going to be able to pull a No Man's Skies just because of how big that company is. Like, you're not going to be able to do free updates and shit. Like their expansion should be free because it would get more people to play their game. But I doubt Bethesda's going to give us free shit. Their track record does not really scream consumer friendly, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's just going to be up to them with the little quality of life changes. I think they need to be consistent enough to keep enriching, keep poking away. You're not gonna knockout punch anybody with one expansion and bring everybody back. So keep throwing your jabs with the little quality of life updates here. Give Xbox, the performance modes, the shipbuilding changes, those things, the land vehicles here that everybody can access. Like, you need to keep chipping away at this until you have a much better product and a much more idealistic product than what you intended. Towards what you intended, rather than what you started out with. So they got time. They have time. I'm giving them time. This is one that initially was, I put the term out. There's like a crash gaming stock. You know what I'm saying? People had hype in this as a crash gaming stock, but it could rise. Right now it's TBD. Its fate is TBD because of the work that they might put in the near future. So we'll see. All right, let's look at these quick bites. We have a shit ton of quick bites, bro. I did not anticipate we were gonna have that many, but it is what it is. Let's roll through it. First and foremost, we had the ID at Xbox Showcase. This past week. Just saw a lot of different indie games that was sponsored. It was through IG. It was like a joint partnership through IGN and Xbox just to showcase the whole program. Saw a lot of different indie games do different trailers and such. Saw 33 Immortals, another look at that. There's a couple of games that went through, but what'd you think of the showcase in general, and what stood out to you when?
Waste of time. But, like, I don't want to be an asshole, but like 3 hours, and like, honestly, I think some of the coolest things that I saw were like before it even started was like the 30 minutes. Like, they showed off what's this game called, Eternal Strands. They showed that. I was like, oh, that looks hard. And then they kind of just, I don't know. There was a lot of games that I think that what happened with this is that, like, I was expecting way more, and I kind of just got cool shit that I didn't know happened. Like, oh my god, what's the name of the one that was like, it looked all hand, Tales of Iron 2. Like, that one looked pretty cool. Just because I really like the art style. The Rewinder looked cool, and that's out right now too. I like that it was like, yo, here's this, and it's out right now. But it really just, like, it didn't need to be like 2 hours, it didn't need to be all that. It felt like a showcase it felt like, what's the word for it? It could have been like a 10-minute compilation of quick trailers. I didn't need a whole shebang. Yeah, it was a whole lot of fluff, the whole shebang. They brought the III initiative shit in there, which was stupid unnecessary.
That's something, because I'm like, bro, we did this last week, basically. Most of those games, I swear we saw the III. Like, a good percentage of them, we saw a III initiative showcase last week. Yeah,
and there was a lot of cool indie games that I think would have had a better reception had they not hyped this up and been like, yo, in IGN, Xbox, we're doing it big over here. And it's like, and then you showed games to people that I don't think would really have enjoyed them. Now, how do you put this in like a little compact, like, yo, here's a bunch of indie games that we think you would like? That I felt would have been better. But the way they put this together kind of drew the attention of, I think, the wrong crowd. It drew the attention of people who were expecting, like, Like one thing I saw in that chat was where's Silk Song? I was just
every single one, bro. Silk Song's not coming, bro. It's not coming.
Like, it's not going to be announced at one of these, and that's what I think kind of hurt it. And I love that we're bringing attention to indie games. I really do think it's very important, but I just don't know if this was the proper way of doing so.
Yeah, I just think in proximity to the AAA Initiative showcase, it was very, very like. It was there. The Venn diagram was a circle almost. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of overlap between what the AAA Initiative showed in the week prior and then what the ID at Xbox showed, displayed literally in this week. So it was just like, it was just too much of the same. I'm glad I saw a couple of different things. I didn't get much of Dungeons of Hinterberg. Like I didn't particularly like that trailer because I was like, okay, I didn't feel like there was too much of too much new shit, which I'm interested for the game still, but I was like, damn, what I'm saying, can we get a sit down, can we get a little feature or something like that? That's one thing. That's his personal grab, that's just me, but we saw 33 Immortals, more of that, which is good. I like that game. I think that's going to be a really, really fun game. We saw some more of that, but then outside of that, it was kind of like quick hits, just a couple things here and there, and again, the overlap with AAA. So in total, I was like, there's some cool things that I saw, and then the rest was just like, oh, I think I might have seen that before. You know what I'm saying? Oh, whatever. But ID at Xbox, just timing, spread it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Pause. Just spread out. You know what I'm saying? Your show timings, because we just had this last week, basically. All right, let's push forward. Let's talk about Remedy games. All right, let's sit down and talk about Remedy, because Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake have been expected to enter full production this summer. We've had an update from their investor circle or investor meetings, and it says that Remedy is in the final development stage before their launch. So 1 and 2 Remake is looking to get the big ramp up, and we could see it very, very soon. How you feeling, Len?
I love Max Payne. Rest in peace to Max Payne's voice actor. I believe they passed not too long ago. It's so sad that he's gone, because he would have been fucking amazing. But I'm excited. I'm a huge Max Payne fan. I fucking love Max Payne. But I am a little scared to see what it's gonna look like. But I can't see them really fucking up this game. And I also love the bullet time mechanic. I think it's something that really should have been like in so many more games. Like I really, really love the slow motion dive. Like it's so sick. But excited to see what this remake is going to look like. Yeah,
I wonder honestly, I liked kind of how I like the gameplay scheme of like a Control, because you had the magical stuff, you had the gun. I feel like their gunplay is actually like pretty solid. I mean, if they can bank off anything, literally Max Payne 3, I know that was Rockstar stuff, but if you can somehow pull as much resource and and inspiration from the gameplay loop as that, I think we're in a good spot, because again, Max Payne 3's gameplay was that, I mean, that's literally, again, GTA shit right there, bro. That's one of the smoothest multiplayer. Well, yeah, they did have multiplayer mode, but that's one of the smoothest shooting like systems I've seen in a minute. Just with the jumping over things, the bullet time, the cover system. I liked Max Payne 3's gameplay flow a lot. If they could emulate that, or do that and then push it +1, +2 with the current additions of today, with how they develop games, I think we're in for something solid, bro. So I got trust in Remedy, bro. If Remedy's done nothing over the past several years, like I'd say like 5, 6, they've done nothing but earn trust, at least in my opinion.
Yes, and it's not even like I am not afraid because of it's at Remedy's hands. I think they're going to do an amazing job. I'm just concerned to see if it's going to still hit the same without
the voice actor.
Yeah, but I'm really excited, because I think I went back to play Max Payne 3 not too long ago. I was like, damn, it's an itch that I've been meaning to scratch.
Word. We'll definitely see, man. We'll definitely see, but hopefully we'll hear some more for it soon. All right, let's sit down and talk about the best arena fighter Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, baby. You know what I'm saying? For all the people in the comment section that might cook us over that you know what I'm saying, distinction. Budokai Tenkaichi returns. We had a brand new trailer showing off some more characters. You know, it was like the master versus teacher type trailer. So we saw Piccolo Gohan, we saw Trunks and Future Gohan with the one arm. We saw a couple of, you know, mechanics that were coming through, like the shadow dodging and stuff that was between I think Gohan and Videl. I'm pretty sure. Like there's a couple mechanics, just new looks at some of the characters and such. How are you feeling with this update trailer and the updates to the roster?
It looks really cool. It wiped away that like feeling that I had that those brackets or the little hexagons were gonna be moments and not people. So it's definitely gonna be a stacked roster. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to see how this game plays. And honestly, like, again, I think if the way they will definitely hook me is if they show me some cutscenes. That's what I really want to see. I think the combat is going to be fun. I think the game is going to be fun to play. It's not going to be something like Tekken where it's like super sweaty.
Yeah.
But what's really going to sell me on this is I need to see what their story mode is like. I need to see something more of that nature. But it seems to me like they're doing a really long like rollout. I think they're going to keep showing us bits for maybe the way that it's looking. If we get this game, it will be, I want to say, like close to October is when I think this game will drop, because they're kind of slowly showing us stuff and they keep showing us new characters and things like that. So I am excited to get my hands on it, but I really want to see something else outside of just combat.
Yeah. I would love to get, like, again, just like a taste of what the sagas look like, you know, what the story format looks like, if they're gonna, you know, go through like beginning of Dragon Ball all the way down to Super and stuff. I wonder how that lays out, any like challenge modes and such. Would love to see what their mode offering is. For me, it's kind of the nostalgia part's already been satisfied. That requirement's already been satisfied for me. Of course, I see Budokai Tenkaichi, it's automatically there, and they're doing justice to the roster by providing everything across new, old, you know, intermediate, whatever you want. Like, the roster's huge, the moves look really great, the presentation of the game looks solid. Now beyond that, how are you at least providing those little tweaks to gameplay to make it feel a little bit more up to speed for the modern day? You know, if you put all the same old mechanics from the Tenkaichi series from like back then up here, it's gonna need a little bit of polish. It's gonna need a little bit of a couple of things to make it have a bit more, you know, again, of the skill gap of like, you know, different mechanics to make gameplay feel varied. So are you doing those little things again, like with the shadow dodges, with like, you know, the little beam returns and stuff? Those look like little skill checks that you can, you know what I'm saying, that you can get into in the game, which I enjoy. I think that's good. It's going to help people, whether you be, you know, beginners or you're being skilled FGC players. I think that's gonna be a good you know, appeal for all ranges, honestly, once you get into that level. And it looks solid, bro. It looks solid. I can't complain, bro. In terms of the timing, part of me expects it to be early 2025. Part of me expects it to be very early 2025. I don't know why. I can see him doing like a February or March 2025. I think October is pretty ambitious. I think October, the rollout is happening fairly consistently now. They have trailers like every month at least. So I feel like if we don't get anything big at E3 to say a date, then I'd say early 2025. But if we do get something, my guess would then be like late October. If that's the case, I'd say late October if we get something at E3. If we don't get anything new or major at E3, early 2025.
Yeah, and when I say October, that's like the earliest I could possibly see it. But I agree with you that it's gonna be on the later side, because I don't know how well that's gonna translate for some though. Like me personally, I'm not excited for a game. I don't want this much media for a game that I'm not gonna see for more than a year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, it's a weird tightrope with the marketing stuff, and we'll get to that later. That's a whole nother story that we're talking about. But yeah, they got to get that balance right, where like when their release date is or when their tentative range is, and starting to, you know, drip feed people content and trailers and stuff. But we'll see. All right, let's talk about Street Fighter 6, man. We have got a gameplay trailer for the heinous evil demon known as Akuma. He is older. He is somehow 5'10" and like 198 pounds. That makes no sense. Like I I'm within like 5-pound range of this guy. That makes no sense in my life. That makes no sense. But we saw his move set. We saw some of the new, you know what I'm saying, killer intent, you know, all the finishers and supers and all that stuff like that. How are you feeling about Akuma?
Akuma's a monster, man. No matter, I feel like any iteration of Akuma is so scary. I know a lot of people are very excited for Akuma's release because that's like a lot of people's main. That man has so many tools. He's gonna be a lot of fun to play. I haven't played Street Fighter in a bit, but like Akuma looks like the type of character that might give me to re-download it. I don't know. That man looks so much fun. The amount of things that you can do with them, the combos, the setups, the neutral is gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm excited to see. I'm happy to see him back. I honestly wish the Akuma would have been earlier in the battle pass, but I think it's smart for them to put him back, to put him in when they did, because I would want people to not have to like. I know a lot of people who played Akuma who like had to pick up other characters, and I think that's important. It's even for me myself. I'm playing Tekken. They didn't add my main from 7 into 8, but I learned a new character. You know, enjoying the game with different people. So Akuma looks like he's gonna be a beast, as he usually is. I'm not excited for those people who are playing competitive. Like, I'm sure they're gonna be super fucking pissed off in this kind of bracket, but hey, it's gonna be really fun to watch. Like, Evo's gonna be a blast.
Nah, 100%, bro. It's gonna be a fun time, bro. I'm just looking back at the trailer now. I'm just like, bro, it's disgusting, bro. I just love the presentation with like the shadow after image and how they brought it back in Street Fighter 6 and how they adapted it to make it look like it looks sweet, bro. It looks sweet. The murderous intent, you know, the whole finisher looks ridiculous. It looks like literally you got hit in a what's the name, a Tsukiyomi and shit. You're just fighting demon ass shadow clones. It don't make no sense. Why this man's back so veiny? Why has he got a tattoo with that shit? I don't understand what's going on. Akuma's hard. Akuma's fire. That guy, like, he's goated. That's it. That's all I have.
Yeah.
That's all I have, bro. Let's move on from Street Fighter. Let's move on to Tekken, because we had some details on Tekken 8 Season 1. Details of, again, a new trailer, new balance patches, a new stage, photo mode, and we have a new character. Well, a new character to Tekken 8. Lydia will be coming to the roster in the summer. How you feeling?
Oh man. I'm sure I can speak for a variety of people when I say, hey, Lydia's cool. Didn't think we needed her. Lydia was like, I think the second to last, or maybe even the last person to be added to the roster in 7. I'm sure a lot of people were able to get their Lydia time in. Don't like, sure, whatever. I'm gonna move past it because I'm gonna be bitching about it all day. Photo mode looks sick. I'm excited to dive into that because there's like some ideas I've had for content, or like even like I can't imagine what these edits are gonna look like, what people do with their Tekken replays. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun adding more ways of playing the game. The new chapter in the main story is dope. I really want them to continue that. I think that's a really smart tool. I know that Street Fighter, I think 5 did that, where they had like chapters. It didn't really work the best for that game, but I think with Tekken and it having like a full story mode in and of itself, and then adding chapters on is dope, because you're going to be able to see your character doing cool shit, as opposed to like 7, where like I played Miguel. That motherfucker was nowhere near the main story, and a lot of people in Tekken aren't going to be. So seeing their stories play out with like cool cutscenes and stuff, I think is gonna be really dope. On top of like the arcade mode stuff, but the new map looks dope. It's not the Waffle House that we've been asking for, but it's still a pretty dope map. And if I'm not mistaken, the music for that map was dope in 7. So if they're using the same tracks, then it'll be sick. But if not, I know them boys been cooking with that. That's one of the vinyls that I'm really looking to get, because the music has been really, really good. But I'm excited to see what the next season is like. Sure, Lydia is there. We're just gonna say that. Happy for all 7 of the Lydia players. If Lydia comes out stupid broken, I'm just gonna be fighting white women like I'm at a Kohl's. I really don't like. I'm just not excited for that at all. Like, people playing just to play the broken character, but we'll see.
Oh man, that shit's insane. Oh shit, let's keep it pushing forward, man. Let's talk about Game of Thrones. No, not the show. No, not the you know what I'm saying, little side little things there. Not House of the Dragon, which is coming in the summer. Apparently there was some rumors of a Game of Thrones MMO that could be in the works. I don't know how true this is. It's a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. But how do you feel about a potential Game of Thrones MMO?
I don't like, what's the word for it?
Care?
Yeah, that's it. That's the word. The damage season 8 has done for my love of this franchise is something that I can't even quantify. Like, you know how crazy it is that I don't even care about a Game of Thrones game because that season was so ass.
Dog, it's serious.
That being said, like, when I think about an MMO, I think it would be cool, but I also don't know how well it would be carried out. Mostly just because in this world, what am I looking forward to doing, right? From my understanding, magic is very weird in this world. There's no like mages and shit like that, so you're kind of just gonna be like a soldier or maybe an archer. Like, I don't know how you're gonna make this interesting for me to tap into, and I'm assuming everybody's gonna want to be a Targaryen because you're gonna get a dragon. So like, you know, say like, what is the draw and what is this world gonna look like? I'm gonna keep an open mind, but I'm not excited whatsoever.
Yeah, you hurt my heart, brother. You hurt my heart. Season 8, I really don't want anything to do with Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon, however, if it was House of the Dragon, I'd have other thoughts, but original Game of Thrones, I'm okay. You can keep that. You know what I'm saying? You can hold on to that for the side. I don't want to reopen those wounds. I'm okay. Yeah. I promise. All right, let's keep it pushing here. Let's talk about Embracer. Embracer is going to be here a couple of times episode, but first and foremost, we have the CEO of Embracer, Lars Wingefors. He has basically claimed that, you know, he has to shoulder some or a lot of the blame actually for a long list, quote unquote, of mistakes that led to the restructuring of the company, which we will talk about later in this episode. And he was on record saying, quote, "I'm sure I deserve a lot of criticism," unquote. How do you feel about this?
I think he deserved all the criticism, actually. Fucking, oh man, who'd have thought just buying shit was not the best call here? It's almost as if, I don't know, you should have gave people some money to make some shit. Like, you just, it's not like a cow. Like, you don't just buy it and then milk will eventually come. Like, you gotta, like, nurture the shit. Actually, no, maybe it is like a cow. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. Besides the point, this motherfucker's an idiot. It's all his fault. Why are you buying shit that you cannot afford? You're putting all these people out of bit. You're putting all these people jobless because you made a mistake. And you're like, I think, you know, maybe I might be to blame. Bro, how are you still the CEO? What is it? How are you still getting paid right now? You have fucked over so many people, so many franchises, so many fans. I can't even begin to comprehend how you can sit there and be like, maybe it was me. But who else was it? It wasn't fucking me. I didn't make these decisions.
Bro, this shit is funny to me because he's just like, you know that part where Plankton's like, he's about to get the formula or some shit like that, and he like opens the safe, and then he's just like, well, what do you do now? I don't know. I haven't gotten this far. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there like confused that he's made it to this point. Like, bro, what? It makes no sense, bro. Yes, no shit, Sherlock. You deserve a lot of the blame. Yes, you made those decisions on your dime. You had no plan except, let's get all these companies together. Let's make games. What plan did you have to actually understand, support, and structure their development processes to make sure, one, talent don't get screwed over, two, you actually have sustainable projects that will come out in enough times to give you a return on your investment, and three, just have enough wherewithal to understand that these games will take time. A lot of these projects that you're going to be so ambitious about or whatever, you're not going to just buy them, snap your fingers twice and say, oh cool, Tomb Raider, yeah, that's a game. Yeah, put it out. And you're just gonna lay back and roll in the dough. That's not how it happens, bro. Especially at this level with game development. And in a lot of different disciplines and pastimes and investments, the people who are at the top need to be as active over the process and understanding of what goes into it, what they bought, than ever before, bro. You have to be at least knowledgeable at the ground level, or else you're never gonna understand how to really pull consistent money from it aside from, again, cutting it into pieces or laying people off and doing the things that you do when you're irresponsible. So yes, you deserve the blame, bro. Yes, surprise.
It is quite literally your fault.
Yeah, bro. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Get this man out my stories, bro, before I heat up, man. This shit is ridiculous. We gonna slide on though. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft definitely is trying to ramp up with more AC this year, trying to get something going through. There's some rumors swirling around about Assassin's Creed Hexe. I know that was teased very, very, very early on, maybe last year, at some point last year, talking about kind of I think it was like a 16th century like either English or Germanic the assassins in that time period and such. Apparently it's planned for 2026. Apparently it's going to be like a sort of mystical, magical elements into it, where there's a fear system. Again, the female protagonist might have, again, those powers that are associated with some of that mysticism, kind of spells to possess different folks, like or like different beings like cats and animals and such. And apparently they do want to kind of track back to be a little bit more linear with some open world design and kind of contain the game a bit. So what we're hearing about Assassin's Creed Hexe, how are you feeling about it, When?
It sounds like it should just be like a whole different franchise. I haven't played Assassin's Creed games in a minute. I didn't know there was magic involved now. That's new to me. Like I saw that Mirage shit where he kind of did like that crazy fast assassination thing. I kind of let that slide. I didn't really think that was like magically empowered or whatever. Yeah, maybe I don't. What is the fear of starting a new franchise? What are we afraid of here? Because I don't know how well the Assassin's Creed games are selling to the point where they're just like, yo, we could put anything into Assassin's Creed and they're gonna buy it. So I'm not excited for this. If anything is like, when I see Assassin's Creed, it kind of is like a brand risk for me. I see Assassin's Creed and I'm not excited. I'm just gonna be like, that's gonna be a third-person game with a lot of shit that I don't really feel like doing. It's gonna be hella bloated. I'm good off that. So good for them. I'm sure for the people who wanted Assassin's Creed with this, I don't know who asked for this, but happy for y'all. I'm good off this. Thank you.
So my thing is here, and please correct me if I look wrong or wild and stuff like that. Don't this sound like Dishonored? Is it just me?
Yeah.
Don't this sound like this?
It sounds like a Dishonored type vibe.
And I mean, bro, we got Dishonored. Dishonored's there. That exists. That's a thing. Like, I don't know, man. They're running out of steam. I wish some of their other IPs would really have some prominence. But again, Beyond Good and Evil 2's in the gulag. That shit never coming out. Watch Dogs, I don't know if they're getting another title again. I think they might be screwed. There's just so much that now Ubisoft has to literally, they have no other option than to rely on Assassin's Creed. That was their first choice, and now it's probably their only choice at this stage. They have to rely on Assassin's Creed 3. Lord knows what happened to Splinter, so that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Don't mess that up. But yeah, this game doesn't necessarily inspire excitement out of me with, a fear system and stuff like that. It could be cool. I like that they're scaling it down. I do appreciate the fact that they will scale it down to be a little bit more linear, but I wonder where where the balance is between that, the full-on powers, and I don't know how far this strays away from being an assassin in and of itself. It's again, literally like you said, when it could be a whole separate series, it could be a whole separate thing rather than being an assassin. I don't know where the guild or the Templars actually fit into this, as we're seeing the bare bones. Again, as we get closer to the title, we'll see how the context plays in. But I just, this could have been a Dishonored joint. This could have been something else. I don't know where the common through line of Assassin's Creed fits in. And that's a bit of a personal, that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. It could not be a problem for anybody else. I don't want to invalidate people's feelings, but I just feel a little bit weird about where Assassin's Creed sits right now with some of their IP, or some of their subgenres, some of their projects that they have going. And yeah, all I'm gonna say is they really need Assassin's Creed Red to hit. They really need that shit to hit, bro. Oh my goodness. That shit is wild. But let's press on. Let's talk about Xbox, man. Let's talk about Xbox and what they have in the pipeline for this year, what they've been gearing up for, what they've been moving to. There's some interesting stuff that's on the way. So with their showcase officially announced for I believe that was June 9th on Sunday. We've got a lot of plans and potential things that they got in the pipeline. Tell me how this sounds. We're gonna have apparently, allegedly, reportedly, Starfield Shattered Space in September, the next Call of Duty in October, Avowed in November, Indiana Jones in December, and some things that could be announced later down the line, like a next Gears of War, or a next Bethesda title like a Wolfenstein, or Doom that comes from Xbox's side. How are you feeling about what they might have laid out with that tentative plan?
I think it all depends on the quality of said games, right? Starfield in September, if it's not free, it's not for me. Call of Duty, they have the opportunity to really to turn Call of Duty around, I think, this year. And maybe we're too late for them to make a big impact on Call of Duty, because I'm sure it was already in the life cycle before the plans, the purchase went through. But they could do something really big with Call of Duty. And like because these games aren't games that sound awful to me. Like I could see them really turning shit around, but it really depends on the quality of the game. Xbox has a huge responsibility to show, like, yo, that $1 billion 3-year debacle was not all for nothing. Because me personally, I low-key feel like that shit was way more trouble than it was worth. I think it's a possibility of having a crazy showcase, but it really comes down to the quality. Because you could showcase, they showcased a Starfield. Me and you thought Starfield might be a huge heavy contender for Game of the Year, and then it dropped and it was bland as fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the showcase will be sick, but the showcase isn't gonna matter, because what we're gonna remember is when the game drops. That's what we're gonna remember. We're not gonna remember how cool the concept of Starfield was. We're gonna remember how bland Starfield felt.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. And I will say with the confirmation of the Xbox Game Showcase being on the 9th, they have, again, a big opportunity. We said this in the episode 91. They have a big opportunity. I think this is where they have to deliver. With Sony, they're gonna drop their showcase, and I think they're gonna have a real big perspective year. They're gonna have a real big perspective showcase in terms of 2025, 2026. We're gonna show you what's on the way. But Xbox can cover the base of what's coming right now in the next couple of months and what's going on in the future. They can really stake their claim as, we're standing on business. We're not stepping away from anything, and we got the games to start backing up that claim that this is where you want to be. So again, the plan of Starfield Shattered Space in September, I think that's good to start off. Again, if it's a free update, that's wonderful to start bringing people back in. It helps Starfield get some momentum back. Call of Duty in October, we'll talk about that more in this episode, but I think, again, Call of Duty could, I agree, be set up for a really, really big year. This is actually a really big year considering what we've been hearing about Call of Duty, who's behind it this year. What is the setup? This could also be a pivotal year for how Call of Duty's looking, because it ain't been in the best condition this year. Avowed in November, I think that's big. It's going to be understated out of all four of these, but I think that's very big, because if they get a real a Rockstar RPG under their feet and in people's hands, that's a big W for Xbox. Obsidian, they could be ticking off a huge checkbox for Xbox if they nail if they nail this in November. So that's a potential, really, really big, just underrated shot that comes out of nowhere. And Indiana Jones in December, I think there's a good amount of hype for it. They're definitely going to ramp up later in the year, but that's a really good fall slate. That's a really, really good fall slate to me. If they land solid marks on all those, they build up so much really good momentum and rapport for what they might have next year, which could be a Gears of War, which could be a new, a new such and such, a Wolfenstein, Doom, Perfect Dark. Please, Perfect Dark, I swear, show yourself, reveal yourself, damn it. But but they have the opportunity to potentially, they have the opportunity to do what PlayStation can't this year. They can talk about the now, and they can talk about the near future in one shot and really stake their claim for this year. So they have a good shot. They have a really big opportunity on their hands. All right, we can start sliding forward, and let's talk about Batman Arkham Shadow, baby. We had a brand new trailer. It was, mostly CGI, stuff like that. But then it showed up at the end of the trailer. It's gonna be a VR game, guys. It's gonna be a VR game. Batman Shadow is in VR. When it's gonna be on the Meta Quest in late 2024. How you feeling?
Cool. I'm not buying Batman VR. I heard good things about the other Batman VR game. Don't get me wrong, but the way my pocket's looking, VR is not the focus. I think it's gonna be dope. I like the idea of this, but Batman Arkham Shadows could have been a sick single player game. But hey, y'all do you. I don't make the rules. I don't make the decisions. Yeah. Shout outs to the MetaQuest owners though. Y'all get something to game on. Like, I'm excited for y'all. Maybe I'll watch some like gameplay on YouTube or something, but I will not be breaking the bank for a VR headset anytime soon.
Yeah, man. VR. I need to get y'all money up and spending on some bitches in the DR, bro. I don't know what y'all talking about, bro. Get your bands up. Get your bands up, huh? No, what? Hold up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Shout out to MetaQuest people, but I'm not checking on this, bro. I'm not checking. Oh man, let's slide forward. Let's talk about some really sad and slightly infuriating news. Let's talk about Take-Two. Again, they already announced that their 5% layoff that was starting to be put in action stuff. Certain projects and people are getting laid off at the company. We talked about that last week, but on top of that, there were some new plans that surfaced about shutting down 2 studios as part of these mass layoffs. One of them is Intercept Games, which worked on Kerbal Space Program 2, and the other is Roll 7 that worked on Rollerdrome and Ali World. Rollerdrome, won BAFTAs, won other awards last year. Ali World came to some, really solid acclaim when it dropped. When your thoughts?
I love both Ali World and Rollerdrome. Amazing fucking games. Oh my god, they're so good. Take-Two, probably one of the biggest. Like, man, they must be fucking reporting losses this year, because that's the only reason I could see them closing down such fucking good studios. Oh wait, they're not. They just fucking want more money. They also own not Call of Duty. They also
GTA.
own one of the biggest, GTA, one of the biggest money makers in the business.
That's so funny.
Fuck Take-Two. I hope they take 2 punches to the fucking mouth. I truly cannot stand corporate greed if it's actually killing the industry. It's going to be a lot of fun having to pay $1 billion for shark cards in GTA and then being like, well, we need the money because GTA, like, you're literally firing good fucking studios for no fucking reason, just because you guys need 7 more yachts. Like, it's fucking nasty. I hate Take-Two. They are a plague.
Bro, it's honestly filthy, bro. I believe it was the Cartel Dell on Twitter. Shout out to Cartel Dell. Dope video game designer, artist, really cool person to follow and see insights from. I think he said it really best, that like, Rollerdrome can come out, really have great critical reception, good sales for an indie game, win a fucking BAFTA, win awards, and still they get fucking canned. They can do everything they possibly can in their power, but the hubris is gonna outpace any good work you can do in this day and age in gaming, especially if you're overseen by a corporate entity. It's so fucking bad, bro. And literally the only reason why they're doing this is to maximize that bottom line for when these $1 billion profits come in from GTA. This is literally the only reason why. It's the only reason. They're like, yo, bro, listen, we gotta make these stocks look good. We gotta make these, our stockholders look, these dividends gotta hit when we get to GTA, because when this shit drops, our stock price gonna be through the roof and we gonna look great, man. Yeah, but that's it. There was, it's not even a need. It's just an innate desire to look as good as you can on stock exchanges and shit, with no regard for the actual gaming process, enjoyment, quality of what we enjoy, what these people do in terms of game developers and coordinators and designers and all that shit. It's so fucking annoying to see how much corporate greed can just swipe shit away in this day and age. It's so fucking annoying. That's why I rep harder than ever for the indies, bro. I rep harder than ever for these indies. May they get all the love, shine, and may they keep showing up over, again, all these fucking losers and stuff that are just making really just bad faith decisions in the gaming industry, bro. It's so annoying, man. Take-Two, So fucking annoying. So stupid. So stupid. All right, we can slide on here and let's talk about a very, very funny game that actually Wen showed us sometime in the midweek, and let's just get into it. Let's talk about the furriest third-person shooter I've ever seen in my life, Wild Assault. Yes, that is a new game that I believe had some an official gameplay showcase in March. Actually, this is under the radar for a little bit, and then it came through. It's a furry battleground tactical shooter with different heroes with different skills and abilities. Like again, you got tigers, wolves that got like sonar and shit. They're just the gameplay looked actually pretty tight. How are you feeling about Wild Assault?
Dog, that shit looks really good,
bro. Like,
that shit looks like fun Rogue Company. Like the movement, all of it looks bananas. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to tap in. I don't really care for how it looks. This shit looks bananas, and I don't know. I'm not trying to miss out. Like even like just being like aware, like running around as like a giant wolf shooting shit. Like that's kind of hard,
bro.
Like it's pretty dope.
The fox shot a mortar out of her backpack. It was like a Mark, the expert one. I was like, yo, what?
Like,
this
what
is
insane.
And the gunplay looks kind of tight. No, facts, bro. Y'all don't got furries, bro. The best y'all tried to do was what's it called, my man's from Attack on Titan, Reiner and stuff, and that wasn't even looking crazy. You're on the clock, brother. You're on the clock. This Wild Assault actually looks kind of crazy, and they had like some of their ultimates and stuff like that. You could just like went on like a melee rampage and stuff, like a bloodhound, but you're doing melee attacks. This shit looks hard. This shit looks hard.
Like all I'm gonna say is, furries got money. It is confirmed that furries got money.
Furries got a bag, bro.
I don't know. That's a good audience to target. If you're asking me,
hey,
from
man,
a money making move, you know.
Facts. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't got the bag to be a furry, but I might tap in with this game, bro. I might get close to it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Support the brothers in arms.
The bears in arms.
Shit.
This for the dogs.
This for all the dogs them. For all the dogs them. For real. Oh shit, that's too funny, bro. Oh man. Shout out to all the furries there, man. Rate this 5 stars, man. If you're a furry, man, rate this shit 5 stars. Shout out to all y'all, man. Much love, much love. But from one project that's a little bit under the radar to another project that's a little under the radar as well. We caught wind of this sometime last week. There's a brand new indie beat 'em up inspired by the Raid. It's called Project Condemned. This is a really, really interesting game being developed in Unreal Engine. Just cool. I believe it's set in it was set in what, Indonesia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So this looks really, really cool. I'm interested. When, how you feeling?
No, this looks really dope. I love oh man, I really love what oh my god, Sifu. I really love that Sifu like brought back that fucking combat style of like Arkham series of like just running in and just boxing people. Like this looks really, really dope. I'm excited to tap in. I might go re-download Sifu. I don't even think I deleted Sifu. I might go replay Sifu.
Bro, I need to do my Aegis run. I still need to do my Aegis run on Sifu, bro. But again, on this game,
this game looks bananas.
I'm very impressed with this. I think it's only like one or like a handful of people that I think his name was Fajrul 97. He's working on this game, bro. It's insane actually how smooth this looks, bro. Jumping in with a Superman punch, he has like the collision physics. If you hit one, you're kind of bumping them into other people. Like it looks really, really solid. Like the dodge mechanics, like just this looks super, super solid. I hope this gets seen, supported. I really want to see this flourish, bro. I love the beat 'em up genre, especially in, again, the vein of games like Sifu, again, the Arkham games, like you said. I love these style of games, and he's getting inspired by the Raid. That's one of the greatest action films of all time, bar none. So I want to see this win. I want to see this win. So I'm definitely tapped in with this, bro. This looks like fun. Spine as well. We talked about Spine as well last week or the week before.
Yeah.
I'm about this. I'm all about this, man. This is lovely, bro. We need. That's a power bomb. I'm watching it right now. He just He just Batista bomb, buddy. Oh my god. Yeah, nah. We need that, bro. We need that. Project Condemned. We are with you. That's insane, bro. That's lovely. That's lovely. I love to see it, bro. I'm about to walk in with Batista theme music and just go crazy, bro. But let's switch gears here from unfortunately the beat 'em ups to the beat 'em offs. This is a very very interesting conversation about Stellar Blade, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Stellar Blade, the game is out. It's dropped to pretty solid reviews and really really good reception overall, but there's been a counter wave. There's been a counter wave of disdain and contempt for the developers of Stellar Blade and for Sony to over a bout of censorship. Yes, apparently in the 1.0 versions there were some very less than safe for work versions of characters and outfits and stuff that were removed from the game and replaced with something that was a little bit more appropriate. And the wave of people, the wave of grifters, the wave of bums has arisen talking about free Stellar Blade. There's a hashtag free Stellar Blade thing going on. There's a movement. People have been voicing their opinions. They've been getting on camera and saying, hey, we don't like this, we don't need this. How are you feeling about this?
Bro, like it's just crazy because it's like I don't really have words. Like I don't have I just think it's bananas to me. Like imagine one day you're like on a date, you meet this guy and you're like, oh, he seems like a cool chill guy, and then like you find out that he's like on the front lines of free Stellar Blade. Like he's you just sit there like, oh man, like you're putting your face on the front lines of seeing animated titties. Like that's the craziest part to me, is that these motherfuckers with their whole chest are like, hey, we need to stop this. We need to band together. It's not a censorship thing, brother. It's not. It's just, hey, we don't really want this in this market. I don't think you're not like, I think these people think they're like MLK, like just fucking thinking on a just cause that needs to be brought attention to. Like, nah, man, it's just not safe for work shit. I don't even know what it is. I'm going to look it up right now, what it is that is so fucking game defining that it needs to be in the Western release or whatever. I just don't understand and especially the thing that blows me is like, I was on Steam today and I was like looking through some of the Steam sales and I was like, oh, there's like, and you know how like if you don't have like the adult filter on, like you will eventually run into a porn game. Like I was like, oh, this is a porn game, and I was scrolling by and it's like so common now to see that on Steam. Yeah. That being like, hey, I need to see shit in every game. It's just, bro, that's a level of horniness I have never encountered in my life. I've never been playing the game and thought to myself, there is just not enough titties in this. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
It's wild how that blew you, but nothing's gonna blow these guys.
Exactly.
Shit is insane. Shit is very insane to me, bro. Like this shit is ridiculous. This is next level, like bitchlessness. This is next level, bro. I haven't seen a legion of bum asses just be all like standing on their pervy ass business like this. I'm in shock. I'm in shock, very honestly. There was one dude, he was like, yo, and of course the person who coordinated that was that, what's it called, that Grums guy, whatever.
Of course it's him.
Yeah, of course it was that guy, man, fucking dweeb. And then that, what's it called, who was it? One of them was like, yo, Grums, your sword and shield, my sword and shield are yours to defend. I'm like, what? Nigga, what are you doing? Like, is this Hyrule, nigga? Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? It baffles me. There was one dude, he was, oh my gosh, there was one that I cannot tell if half of these are sarcastic or not, by the way, and that's the funniest shit to me, bro. It's just like there's a couple where I know they're trolling for sure. There's a couple where I know that they're trolling. There was like one black dude who was like, did a video like he was trolling, but there was one guy, he was like, oh, does a loser or grifter have a home gym set up like this? It was like a bunch of random like horny shit in the background, and he just had one bench press with the bar and shit. I was like, bro, you having weights near your horny ass setup does not make you not a loser. You're still a bum. You just have more weights. He was like, yo, is this the body of a loser? He tried to lift his shirt. Man, I was like, bro, you look kind of bad, bro. What's going on, bro? What's happening with your diet? Like, it's baffling. It's baffling how much of a loser that these people embody. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. When I haven't had this much like laughter in a minute, bro. It's crazy. Laughter and shock in the same vein. It's fucking crazy.
I've done my research. It's just less revealing is what I've noticed. It's not even like I thought these motherfuckers were fighting for like actual titties. Like, it's not even, it's just a little bit more revealing. What's going on, fellas, bro? You have the internet and you're using it to harass people about more revealing outfits on a PlayStation. Man. Go ahead, bro. I don't even know what I could do. I can't, like, there's no helping them at this point. Like, the people who are developing AI bitches, they're gonna make a killing, bro. They're going to make a killing. It's actually gonna be nasty.
It's wild, bro. I was talking with Kendall about this the other day, bro. I was like, dog, literally off the back of this conversation, looking at this stuff, I'm like, bro, like the amount of bitchless market that's gonna be there to be exploited. It's unreal. It's unreal, bro. I'm in shock. I'm just honestly in shock by the level of bitches. And again, let this be a lesson and a relaxant to everybody who tries to go to war with some of these bums in the comment sections and stuff like that. You just gotta let it go, bro, because this is who you're fighting against. This is who you're arguing against at a distance. When people are looking at the timeline and seeing you argue, these are the people that you have to go to bat with. Just save yourselves, bro. They literally have nothing better to do. Literally.
It's like sad. It's just sad. That's all. It's sad.
Oh, like, I love video games, bro. They're one of my main passions in life. But put the video games down and go get some bitches. Have some common sense, bro. This is really it. Go to your local library. Go read some books. Go travel the world. Go have a different perspective on life. That's really the best advice I can give to these people. Like, please. It's gonna doom you if you keep going down this path of bitchlessness. It really is.
It's not even that. Like, I think like these dudes just need like actual real life friends who participate in real life activities. Like, I don't even know if like finding a significant other will fix this problem. No, I don't think they could. I don't think they could if they wanted to. They need to find like people who participate in like real life. Like, that's genuinely what they need.
Dog. Oh my gosh. Half of these mans would have been literally slapped in the streets, bro. We don't have consequences anymore, bro. We don't have consequences for some of these people anymore who just run online running mouths, bro. It's insane. I would openly laugh at most of these people in the streets. I'm not gonna lie. If there was a problem like that, imagine if we had a public forum to literally like convene as people who participate in the gaming space and see people in person and really just look at it and just like, yo, they're going with they're spitting their vitriol and stuff like that and going as hard as they can for these topics. And one, you look at the topic, and two, you look at who's defending it in real time. You're just like, oh, why this is sad. I don't even want to participate in this anymore, bro. I don't even want to be a part of this.
I think like if we had a public forum for people to talk about their video game needs, anybody with a stain on any article of their clothing is not allowed to speak.
Bro,
and it'd be a very quick meeting, because it'd be like, all right, all the people who want to see more titties in Stellar Blade, stand up and get in line. If you have a stain on any of your garments, or you have a distinct smell, you are not allowed to talk. And then everybody who would stood up would sit back down.
Facts, bruh. Oh man, listen, just for those that may be listening to this and maybe you identify with those people who are defending Stellar Blade and saying free Stellar Blade, just want to let you know before we go on to the next topic, you're a fucking loser. Get your life up. All right, we gonna move on to the next thing though. Let's talk about Marvel Rivals, man. Let's talk about Marvel Rivals. We had a bit of a low key, you know what I'm saying, low key snippet of Loki Laufey, son. Hey, I didn't even mean to do that one. That just happened, brother. But we had a whole snippet of Loki, his gameplay and stuff. What'd you make of that one?
It looked really interesting, actually. He had like a clone mechanic. It looked interesting. Like, they looked really cool. Like, okay, that's a new mechanic that I haven't seen in something like an Overwatch, or I think the closest I could think of is like something like Azir and maybe in League of Legends. Like, it was a really dope mechanic. I thought it was dope. He can like transform into other heroes. I'm actually this game looks like it's gonna have a really dope identity, and I'm really excited to see when this game releases. I cannot wait to hear like. It also depends on like how well his clone works, how easy it would be to tell like, oh, is that the actual Loki or if that's not the actual Loki. And seeing how it works out. But really interesting. It kind of showed me like that this team is working hard on making the characters feel unique, or at least not trying to just recreate like an Overwatch character in their game. So shout outs to them. That was a really dope showing. It actually kind of has me excited for this what feels like it's gonna be a mobile shooter Marvel Overwatch game.
Yeah, 100%. And this is funny. I'm glad you brought up the feel and trying to make it feel distinct and unique, because there's a lot of claims that, you know, some of the map designs and such like that, like there was like just apparently some people were just shouting like, yo, some of this is like a blatant copy of Overwatch in terms of like the map makeup and stuff like that. I know there was a new map revealed, and they saw like I guess a lot of comparisons, or they wanted to draw a lot of parallel lines between that and some Overwatch maps and such. What do you make of people trying to shout this is just like a carbon copy of Overwatch?
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of overlap, and I did see the Hanamura thing. It could be. I'm not sure. Like, again, I'd have to play it, and I'd also want to see like an overview, like somebody taking a picture from the top down and seeing what the routes are, and I also don't even know if I could be wrong, but I don't even know if Hanamura is even a map in Overwatch anymore. I think it got vaulted, but that's not the main issue. If they are just reusing maps and like quite literally doing like, hey, Japanese map with the same layout, then yeah, that's a conversation that needs to be had of like, yo, y'all need to tighten up. But I also am not like, I'm not really that pressed about it, because at the end of the day, like if this game is cool, it's gonna be cool anyways. Like I'm gonna still play it. But if it truly is them just like copying and pasting shit, it is a bad look. I cannot lie. It is a bad look if you're trying to like be better than Overwatch while literally copying Overwatch.
No, 100%. Real quick, breaking news that kind of dropped in the middle in between these stuffs. We got the official announcement that what is called XDefiant. XDefiant is dropping May 21st on all platforms. It is dropping on all platforms on May 21st. We got the preseason that will start again, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC at the same time. We have actual confirmation. When, how you feeling?
Cool, sure. They've missed I feel like they've missed their landing date for me a while back. Maybe if this had been in December of last year, I'd be more interested in it. But after playing the couple betas and then them being like, we're gonna do another beta and they keep pushing it back. This game is in a really rough spot. This launch is really gonna be telling. We're gonna have to see what it looks like. I think, what was that game that they had that was a battle royale that was really hyped for like a couple, like Hyperscape or something like that?
Yeah, was that from Ubisoft? Damn. Oh my gosh.
Right, wasn't it?
I think it was Ubisoft. Sick times, bro. I remember that game was so fun until that one update. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like I feel like it could have something similar to that, where they drop, it's hype, but if they don't really do anything with it, it's just going to die. And I would hate for that to happen to this game, but they really need to do everything in their power to avoid that happening in this game. It's going to come down to support the game launching and being good on release too, like, because it's already in such a bad starting foot. Like, the finals dropped and it was bananas because we didn't expect it. We played the demos, or we saw some gameplay. We're like, oh, this is dope. And even though it had its issues, it was really, really fun and unique. XDefiant, a lot of people have played the game at this point. If you're not bringing some heat, like, a lot of people are just going to be like, because I knew when I played the beta, I wasn't really excited for it anymore. So I would love to see them come out with some gas, but they're going to have to come out swinging to really capture an audience right now, because not that we even have that much competition. There's not that much competition to be had. There's just a lot of games right now out that I would rather play, or I'm rather tap into than, like, I'd rather grind some Helldivers before I'm like, let me pick up XDefiant and play that shit, or I'd rather play some Tekken. Like, there's just other shit to be played right now. Of course, I play a lot of different games. If you're a shooter fan, this may be what you've been waiting for, like a new shooter. But even then, I think the finals dropped their new seasons not too long ago. I think Apex might be having something soon, but they need to come out swinging if they really want to make an impact.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like given the timing in general, again, it's better late than never. It's better late than never in this case. I feel like if they dropped any later, closer to the reveal of the next Call of Duty and later, they would have been fully screwed. Now, this could be a case where they're mostly screwed, but they could have a chance to somehow fight their way from underneath. Dropping May 21st, just before, again, the next Call of Duty does get their open reveal on June 9th with the Xbox stuff. I think that's good timing. They have enough wiggle room to either sink or swim, to either say, hey, this is stable enough to be a solid option that's free to play that people can get into, that will we'll rock with for at least the summer and see what's going on, see how they update it and see how they play through it. They either give themselves that chance or they completely condemn themselves, and Call of Duty has a completely free right of way, you know what I'm saying, when they drop. So, and I'm not saying it's competition, literally it's not competition, because once Call of Duty drops, most people are going to look at Call of Duty anyways, but it's more about, can XDefiant survive? Can XDefiant create enough momentum to survive themselves through the summer, through however long that they're supporting the content for this year, and how frequent they're going to support that content, and what they can do. I will not be on XDefiant May 21st because I will not be at home literally until I come back in June, but that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother time. But I when I come back, I do want to give XDefiant just due, because when we did play it, it was fun. It was fun when we did play it, and there was some good moments in there. So I'm wondering what they fixed, what they changed, what stability that they added to the servers, and the consistency of the gunplay, registering of hits, just those little things here. And once we get a good feeling of that, it's sink or swim time. Either you had enough to make it through and last of the summer, or nobody will be playing you by the time the Call of Duty reveal comes on June 9th. It's one or the other. All right, so that was that. We can slide on here to a quick little story about just a sad state of affairs, because we heard word about a certain character from a certain brand, that brand being Nintendo, that character being Samus from Metroid. And we heard that Metroid and Metroid Samus could have been in Fortnite. Samus could have been in Fortnite, but Nintendo blocked it because they wanted the character to be exclusive to the Switch version. So at some point, again, the former Epic Games, former chief creative officer, the former CCO, he was pitching that, and he provided information that we almost had Samus in Fortnite, but Nintendo blocked it because of the exclusivity clause. How you feeling?
Not surprised. Not surprised whatsoever. Samus not being in Fortnite, par for the course. Truly, I'm surprised we even have Fortnite on the Switch. I'm surprised they didn't make Mario's Battle Royale or Mario Party Brawl, and then just made that shit a VR. Like, they don't want anything off their systems. And I remember one day playing NBA Street 3 on like a PlayStation and looking for Mario, and they're like, no, that's just not there. I was like, what the fuck? I thought that was like one of their biggest marketing things, is that they promoted this shit. It's like, no, it's only on the GameCube version. And that's when I realized Nintendo really could give a fuck. But I also get it, because without Mario being on their consoles, it's pretty clapped. But I also do not think, that does not excuse them. Like, nobody's sitting here and being like, wow, Samus is on Fortnite on my PlayStation. I could buy the Samus skin. Guess I never need to buy a Switch. Nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever been like, I don't need a Switch because I have Mario on Fortnite. They're thinking they're so archaic with their mindset. But bro, hey, that's Nintendo,
Cock blocking extraordinaires. Damn, bro, I can't let us have nothing. I'm sure Samus would have been cool, bro. That would have been a dope inclusion. But damn, bro, Look what the money make a bitch do, bruh. Shit ridiculous. Anyways, let's slide on here. The last part of our quick bites. Let's talk about BlizzCon 2024. We've heard word that it will not be going down this year. Again, Blizzard and stuff, they just decided that, it's just a different format that they wanted to approach because of the year. They just, weren't sure about how they wanted to present it, so they're cutting it. BlizzCon's not happening this year, but they did say they will be back in future years. When your thoughts?
No shit, we don't even I don't even think I honestly don't even know if BlizzCon period is necessary. I don't feel like they develop enough to really be able to sit here and be like, let's have an entire convention for ourselves. Like, the only reason I would see a BlizzCon being necessary is like if you have like Overwatch tournaments at the shit. I haven't even heard anything good about WoW in years either. Like, I just don't even know what they would really announce. They have a lot of solid games, but Blizzard, the Blizzard that we used to know is not the Blizzard that we have today. And a lot of people who would have been excited for BlizzCon and been like, oh, I can't wait to go to BlizzCon, really don't feel like going to BlizzCon. Like those people are no longer. I don't even know if they really say. I have not heard somebody praise Blizzard in years. Like, I have not heard one good thing about Blizzard. And I've played a lot of their franchises, and like, I just cannot think of somebody being like, oh, sick, BlizzCon, let me go spend like, what was it, like $800 or some bullshit like that? Like, no, I'm very good. Thank you very much. BlizzCon not happening this year makes a lot of sense. Just drop a little 45-minute YouTube video about what the fuck y'all doing, and we'll watch it and we'll keep it pushing. Or just go to the Xbox showcase, because that's low-key where you guys are at this point.
Yeah, that's literally my point. This is my thing. What the hell do they have to show in terms of like major keynote updates and shit? You know what I mean? Again, there's the festivities of the con itself. Don't want to deprive fans who are long time supporters of that opportunity. Cool. I don't want to slight them, but outside of that, the major keynote shit, like the usual big updates that they have to World of Warcraft or StarCraft or Diablo and Overwatch, there's nothing good from any of that shit. There's nothing new or really big coming from any of that shit, bro. Who cares? And it's not even that who cares. They literally have nothing positive or that impactful or that big to show. So why would they even show up? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I bet you, after all this past year and change of them, with a lot of different games going to the shitter, Overwatch and Diablo specifically, I'm sure that a lot of Blizzard fans would come there with a bone to pick with some of those devs and some of the people who actually decide to show up to the event. So that might not be the best PR stunt for them when they have people ready to at least air their grievances live and in living color. So that's probably not it. And again, I want to piggyback off of Wen's just notion that what do they even have to show? At this point, consolidate into Xbox Game Showcase or whatever days or whatever stuff. Consolidate into a larger Xbox event or a larger brand event under the Xbox banner and call it that. You know what I mean? Put your updates in there, leave BlizzCon for another time, or again, fold yourself into E3 season. Fold yourself into that time and you just go right under Xbox's thing. We're gonna have a couple things with BlizzCon is now under Xbox's banner, BlizzCon presented by Xbox, blah blah blah. You have your couple of days of fun, and then it ends in the Xbox Game Showcase, or it starts after the Xbox Game Showcase to save some wiggle room for all the other E3 stuff and scheduling and all that crap like that. So I don't see the big point in keeping it its own standalone thing outside of, again, the fan stuff, but in terms of the marketing, in terms of the actual trajectory of the games of it developing and the PR that they might not want to face in isolation, they might as well bundle it in with Xbox and move on to some other things, because they got to save face somehow. And I don't think them sticking their neck out and showing up at their own con on their own time with fans that have grievances with them is the best play for that. Duck behind your daddy, man. Duck behind your daddy, Blizzard. But we can slide on to the rest of these regular stories here. Got a good bundle of them to get through as well. Let's talk about Embracer Group again. The big news after, again, talking about the Embracer CEO, we have to talk about Embracer itself. We have heard word and confirmation that Embracer is splitting into 3 different companies. They are splitting all of their IPs, their entities, their groups into 3 different entities. One is Asmodee Group, the second is Coffee Stain and Friends, and the third is Middle Earth Enterprises and Friend. I believe Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends will get Crystal Dynamics, Dan Buster, Eidos Montreal, Flying Wild Hog, Tripwire, Vertigo, Warhorse Studios, which means they get Dead Island, Killing Floor, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Lord of the Rings, Metro, and Tomb Raider. A lot of them. So the bulk of them will be Middle Earth Enterprise, and I believe the Embracer Group will be still attached to them specifically, or the figureheads of Embracer Group will be attached to Middle Earth. Coffee Stain will get games and IPs like Deep Rock Galactic, Goat Simulator, Satisfactory, Wreckfest, Teardown, Valheim, like a lot of different free-to-play projects and operations that they have there. And there's a couple other things there, but with the split up of Embracer, how are you feeling?
This is like so ironic that they went through all this work, spent all this money to acquire all these things, to put them all under one banner, to then just be like, you know what? Financially speaking, it's not smart for us to do this. So we should just split everybody up. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to make enough money to like, somebody's going to just make enough money out of the 3 groups and be like, you know what if we bought the other 2 groups out, and then we're just gonna have a vicious cycle of them buying and dividing. Like, it's so stupid. Dog. They could have saved so much time, money, and jobs had they just bought maybe a couple and then just kept it at that, and then been like, yo, you guys, why don't you guys consolidate over here? Like, it's so I really hate Embracer Group. They're so stupid. They don't know what they're doing. It's very evident. And now they're like quite literally taking their strategy, quote unquote, and going back on it and being like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't the best call. Let's do this instead. You boys, man, the way to waste your money, way to waste your time, way to waste a lot of people's like livelihoods. GG's, man. I don't know where this lands in any religious setting, but seeing the pearly gates is kind of a stretch if you're asking me. But go crazy. Like, I can't imagine being like, yo, I fucked over a lot of people and wasted a lot of people's money and time. Like, your friends are fucking dicks.
Dog. It is funny as hell. It's funny, but it's also infuriating at the same time. Like, you guys did all that just to literally reverse your steps. You hit a Uno reverse on your own process because you guys did not know what to do with any of these properties. You are incompetent to the highest order, to the highest power. It's so stupid, careless. Just it's idiotic on so many different fronts, bro. I don't understand it. Like, again, just to re-up the details again, Asmodee is the tabletop guys. Coffee Stain is more like the smaller games, like a Ghost Ship. They have like Goat Simulators and all stuff like that. Middle Earth gets all the bigger IPs. Saber Interactive, they fucked off with their own stuff because they bought themselves out. What was the point? Embracer Group, what was your entire point? What was your existence? Embracer Group literally was useless. It was useless. It had no effective value to the gaming industry, to providing any type of jobs, job surge or economic boost whatsoever, because you took away jobs to try and save your bottom line. You just got rid of more people, and then you just ended up splitting it into a new form. You're splitting the existing studios that you picked up into a new form. Oh yeah, just go do your own thing, guys. We fucked up. Sorry, guys. We'll split our separate ways here. We'll do the old Fast and Furious. It's been a long day. The highway separation. Like, there is nothing more to say than Embracer was the biggest waste of time in gaming history. Honestly, arguably, it's one of the biggest wastes of time in gaming history. Because why did you do all of this? Just to say, we fucked up. We couldn't handle what we were acquiring, and we just tried to pick up everything in the shop. We didn't know what to cook with it. That's your problem, bro. Level 50 armor, but you're a level 1 character, bro. You know what I'm saying? As one of the greats may say, you weren't equipped for the stuff that you were purchasing. You weren't equipped for the stuff that you were putting on. It makes no sense how you continue to carry on with that too. Just think, oh yeah, if we keep buying, it'll solve itself, right? No, it won't. No, it won't. It's honestly the highest level of ridiculousness I've ever seen. I hope that the smaller breakup of these companies can somehow just give some semblance of control, steadiness, and vision to the people who are overseeing these entities now, because they need it. The studios that are in under these banners, they need it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs that support from their executives, higher ups, whoever it is now. We got to call a spade. As unfortunate as the situation is, those people who are in power, they have to now show. They have to show their stuff. Show that you can actually support and nurture these IPs to be good, rather than just throwing them to the wayside whenever shit goes left because you don't know what to do with video games. But end of the day, point being, fuck Embracer. That's it. Embracer Group, what a sham, what a failure. Without a question, one of the worst entities I've ever seen in the gaming industry in my lifetime. All right, let's push forward. Let's talk about the not so mystery mystery piece of the Xbox showcase coming down on June 9th. Basically, at this point, guys, it's Call of Duty. Let's be honest. Literally, let's just call a spade a spade. It's Call of Duty. We don't have to lie to kick it. The second portion, the direct that was similar to Starfield direct last year, most likely certainly will be Call of Duty direct. Apparently people are touting a Black Ops 5 in that case, and based on the details that we've got so far that are either confirmed or rumored, I'll go down the list of some of them here. Again, apparently this has been the longest developed Call of Duty time ever. Apparently this is like some of the most time that developers had to work on it. Set in the Gulf War era. Again, just apparently it just fits Black Ops, right? It just looks like Black Ops. We have some rumors that we're apparently seeing firing range coming back, 50 plus weapons at launch, longer tactical sprint times, shooting while diving, so dolphin dive will come back in certain mechanics, a mechanic to use enemies as covers and meat shields, and just a lot of different things that we may see. So this could be a big year, as we said earlier, for Call of Duty. Let's break it down. How are you feeling about Call of Duty's chances, Black Ops 5's chances, and what we might see at the reveal in June?
I think a Call of Duty with time is a scary sight for the shooter scene. I think a Call of Duty with care is a scary sight. I am very, very excited to see what they come up with, and I'm a Call of Duty hater. Like, I really do shit on it, but it's mostly just because as an old fan of Call of Duty, I knew how good it could be. I remember spending hours on even one of the worst games, even playing Modern Warfare 3, playing that Spec Ops shit. People used to play hours of zombies. I used to play hours of Spec Ops. I used to enjoy zombies. There's so many things that I really enjoyed about these games, but the problem is that the people just got complacent with being at the top, and it's similar to a WWE situation where when you have no real competition, you can really just get away with doing nothing, and people are still going to eat it up. So hearing that they're putting some work in, that they're putting some time in, they're actually trying to make this game really good is exciting. And I think that making it more than just a BR with campaigns and shit as a feature, and making these games a little bit more rounded with more identity, I think is going to be great. Because I feel like since Modern Warfare, after Modern Warfare 1, the remake in 2019, the next 3 games were all just Modern Warfare slightly different. And it just didn't really make me want to, what's the purpose of buying that when I could just download Warzone and just play Warzone? What's the purpose of spending that money when I could just play Warzone for free? So I hope they do something good with the game this year. I'm not going to hold my breath whatsoever. They will have to wow me themselves. And here's hoping they do actually create something that is worthwhile.
Yeah. I am not a Call of Duty hater. I will shit on Call of Duty when it's warranted because it's gone downhill over the past few years. I do not enjoy it as much as I once did. I used to be one of the fiercest Call of Duty fiends that you have ever seen on this planet. I've since then recovered for the most part, but I will again echo Wen's points. When Call of Duty is actually shown care, when they're given time to work and under the knife and really create something that is at least a decent iteration forward. It didn't have to necessarily be innovative, but a decent iteration forward, and in the package that surrounds it, in the systems and the online play, the game modes, the content funnel. If that's honed in, if that's focused, if that's very well cared after in the build up to release, then it's a scary sight for games in general, not just shooters, but specifically shooters. But yeah, games in general. Call of Duty on its day, it is hands down one of the best franchises of all time, and I will stamp money on that, bro. From single player campaign moments to their third tacked on game modes like a Spec Ops or a Zombies, and multiplayer specifically. They're innovators of the online scene. They are forefathers of what gaming is today. They, on the value of the name alone, it's been able to survive because of what they've built, the quality that they put into their games earlier on. Now with this, we're at a turning point, bruh. Not only with Call of Duty in and of itself, but Xbox and their ownership over Call of Duty. It's showing that we are not only giving investment and backing to give Call of Duty the time it needs to grow from the Xbox front, but also Call of Duty proving that we can still put on and create an experience that nobody else can match when we're on our day, that Apex can't match, that Valorant can't match, that this game can't match, that game can't match. They have to. I think they got to show up and prove, in my opinion, especially with not only the game state being lacking from the last Call of Duty. Think about the content funnel. Think about how Zombies was abandoned. Think about how the game was just a consistent rehash of the Modern Warfare stuff that came before. Think about how it just felt lackluster. Modern Warfare 3 did. It felt lackluster at the end of the day. Not only to mention that, but the problems on top of that with cheaters, hackers, Warzone changes being all all out of whack sometimes. There's so many inconsistencies with that experience and what they've offered there. There is so much to address, and a good Call of Duty can automatically just jumpstart and put all those things to bed. It can put a lot of those things to bed. This is one I think that's very important, and in my opinion, I wouldn't trust any other company in Call of Duty or Activision's banner than Treyarch to do something like this, to be the pressure, the pressure player. When the time is tough and somebody got to call for the ball in their banner. I think it has to be Treyarch. I think it does. They've provided enough of a differentiable experience across all of their games in comparison to other Call of Duties that they've pushed that tempo when it was time to really have solid like the exo movement stuff. Some people were here and there at the time, but Black Ops 3 and 4 were probably some of the best uses of it in Call of Duty in general when that wave was coming through. Just Zombies mode was the innovator that sparked a whole lot of different shit in the gaming space in general. Treyarch knows how to create new in Call of Duty. Treyarch knows how to instill fresh in Call of Duty better than Infinity Ward, better than Sledgehammer, better than anybody else who's worked on Call of Duty up to this point in time. Again, with their leaders, there are some people that have left. Again, like Jason Blundell has left for the Zombies modes. I don't know if Vonderhaar's still there. I don't know if Vonderhaar is still there for the Black Ops stuff. He might be, he might not be. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the leadership may be slightly adjusted, but I know a lot of talent probably still is there. Call of Duty has a big opportunity, bro, to make it very much what it's supposed to be. Again, fun, engaging, a very much just all-encompassing, all-action type of game that doesn't force force a lot of mediocrity in their gameplay to the player base that's on it, bro. They have a big chance. I will never fully count out Call of Duty. I will have my criticism because I love it so much at the end of the day, but Black Ops 5, the next Black Ops Gulf War, whatever you want to call it, they have a big chance, and I have some level of expectation that they're going to show a lot. They're going to show a lot in June, and they have a really big opportunity to turn a corner on what's been a bit of a skid over the past few years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think and it's almost impossible to ever really count Call of Duty out because of how big that company and corporation is.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot sit here and act like I have not been hitting snooze on the Call of Duty resurgence every single year. Every single year something comes out and I'm like, oh, maybe they might actually do something cool this year, and I'm not impressed. So hopefully I will be wrong one of these days, but I'm not even like scared of being proved wrong at this point. Like, I'd actually be surprised if they proved me wrong. It'd be like your really, really small 3-year-old cousin beating you in a game of Mario Kart. Like, you've just been shitting on it for so long that I would love for him to win, just to like be like, oh, you got it. You actually did it.
Nah, I hear it, man. We're gonna see, bro. We're gonna see come summertime. But let's slide on. Let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. Nen Impact. Not only has it been a good week for Hunter x Hunter with the actual gameplay reveal, we finally saw something, so some news and some movement on the gaming front. Tagashi's back writing Hunter x Hunter. He's drawing panels, bruh. I seen some of it. He dropping some new shit. So on top of him drawing new panels, we finally got the gameplay reveal for Hunter x Hunter and Impact to see what the game looks like, how it's feeling. Very, you know what I'm saying, MVC, very Marvel's Capcom DNA in it. You know, when we saw Sonic Fox, he had some positive notes on it as well. I know what you said about, you know what I'm saying, the FGC community looking at it, seeing if it's solid as well. But from your view, from what you saw this gameplay, how do you feel about Nen Impact?
I think it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna really, it really needs to, like, the roster I think is gonna be a huge factor in it. But what I've seen so far looks dope. It's not gonna wow you with the crazy graphics. It's not gonna wow you with the flashiness. Hopefully the music is good, because there's just like certain components in a fighting game that you need to have like ticked on, but like the graphics are not going to wow you. But if they got some good music and a solid roster, I think this game could be really, really good. We all saw how well Dragon Ball Fighters did. I think it needs to drop with some solid core FGC shit. Like, we need some good net play. That's going to be a big deciding factor. Like, if you guys can't nail that down off of jump, it's going to be an uphill battle, because this is a Hunter x Hunter popular anime, but not the most popular anime, right? It cannot get carried the way a Naruto or a Demon Slayer game gets carried. It's gonna have to be able to stand on its feet a little bit. I'm not sitting here and saying that like people don't care about Hunter x Hunter, but I'm sure a lot of people would be perfectly fine never playing the Hunter x Hunter game, even if they did watch the anime. Something like a Dragon Ball Z is different though. So I think what I read that Sonic Fox said is very, very good. Like, it's such a positive thing to hear that it plays better and it looks better when you actually are in front of it. He's saying that he enjoyed playing it in Evo Japan. I'm excited to play it myself. It is a game that I think I will be putting some hours in on but it really always comes down to how the online comes in, how that plays. What's the pricing like? Is this gonna be a full $60 title? I don't think it should be. I think it should be a dope $50, maybe I would think 40 would be the perfect price point for it. But a dope 50, a dope 40 game would be spot on, and a solid roster. Because I don't think you're gonna be able to pull people in just off of graphics alone or the flashiness of the fighting. But if you get a cool roster of characters and some good balancing in there too, like, we obviously that shouldn't even really need to be said, but we can't have an unbalanced ass game, because we don't want to see the same issue that Marvel vs. Capcom had, where like everybody was running Virgil. So I really hope that they nail the roster and that they nail the net play, because that's going to be really, really huge for a game like this. It doesn't seem like the type of game that's going to be carried by the licensing. It's going to be carried by the game itself.
Yeah. My thing is it felt very super, like, again, Super Mario Bros. Capcom-ish in this gameplay there. I thought some of the gameplay saw on Twitter was cooked compared to what it was on YouTube. So I want people to take what they saw on you know, Twitter or other social media stuff with a grain of salt, because I felt like the YouTube version of it looked way better than what people were seeing. People were like saying, oh, it looks like a DS game and stuff like that. I think it looked way sharper in the YouTube format. So probably check on other social platforms for that stuff to make sure you're seeing its best version, at least at the time. I don't think it looks like amazingly fluid right now. You know, it looks a little bit, you know, like super fast, snappy, you know, motions. Again, Marvel vs. Capcom, basically, literally just that with the very snappy, you know what I'm saying, animations, movement, trying to get, you know, quick to it. I'm very optimistic about it. I'm actually pretty optimistic about it. I think that this is solid. My biggest gripes would be, our concerns would be the roster is one, and the net play would be the other. I feel like they're gonna have enough difference to really create a really nice combat flow with the systems, where they're pulling from kind of that DNA and ethos in terms of what they're bringing to the fighting game, bring to this fighting game. But the roster, I feel like outside of, people from every area, I think they're gonna have, they'll just about have enough in their base roster. But I wonder how much you got, like all members of the Phantom Troop, you got, people from the Chimera and Arc era. Like there's a good amount I think that they can cover. I just wonder what their plan is going to be to release that roster. Like how many are you going to have base game, how many are you going to drop with DLC, because I know you're going to have DLC. I'm sorry, I just can't assume the best with anybody anymore. Like what's the rollout for that? How's that going to look? And and how's it going to play online? As long as you keep those two things solid, have a good base, everything else is going to fall into place. I don't think people will complain about how snappy it looks, or maybe it doesn't look as smooth as say like a Street Fighter and shit like that. I think people are not going to complain about that much if the gameplay is smooth and it's responsive online. People won't give a fuck about that. So I have a solid expectation for this game. 100%, it looks good. It looks good, man. It looks good. I have positive vibes from it.
Yeah, no, I think that it's going to make an impact. The issue is how long will it last, and that's the biggest concern, because every fighting game that comes out, especially anime fighting games, like even people even playing the Persona game, they all get a player base, but the question is how long will that player base last?
Yeah, that's a very good question, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully it gets the right, just marketing and word of mouth to hopefully sustain it, to have a good first initial boost, and then sustain itself in the updates to come. All right. Let's slide on to a little project, a little game called Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov has been in the eye of the storm from some really big, controversial, contentious moments between, the game itself, the developers, and the player base. So to kind of sum this up in a very, very simple way, basically, way back when in the day, people bought the an early access version, some of the bigger versions, for $150. They paid the big money up front, and then they just to get into the game, see the game. And apparently a part of that deal was you get access to all future DLC. So a lot of players were bought into that tier of early access and membership. And there's been this new mode that has dropped. I need to get the fucking name. I think it was like it was something else. I'll get the name in a second. I forgot off the top of my head. But basically this new mode came out, and the developers are saying, hey, you guys got to pay an extra $100. Everybody has to pay extra $100 for this. Everybody got to pay $100 to try out this new mode.
It was a PvE mode, if I'm not mistaken. Like instead of it being regular PvE, it's more now just PvE.
Yeah, I gotta find the name of the mode specifically. I will find that in just a second. But yeah, there's that. They've introduced a couple of pay-to-win, mechanics in their system so far. But the big crux of this has been they're asking those people who paid $150 to pay for more. DLC. And I think the argument point was, oh, this isn't DLC, this is a whole new experience, or a whole new and there's been a lot of back and forth between the player base and the developers of Escape from Tarkov. So how are you feeling about this situation?
This situation is messy as hell. I can't remember his name, but he's kind of has like a deep voice, and he's like white dude with like long black hair. I think it's like Pirate something, but he used to work for like Blizzard. Really cool dude who broke it down, and how like this could quite potentially be a class action lawsuit, because the people from Escape from Tarkov was saying were like, well, this isn't DLC, this is an additional feature to the game. This is a different feature, so you're paying money for an extra feature, but it's still content that it literally DLC is so vague that it counts as downloadable content. So to make your player base pay an extra $100-something is bananas. I also think that Tarkov is quite literally shooting itself in the foot. I know friendly fire is their whole thing, but this is like the worst friendly fire I've ever seen. Because the thing about Escape from Tarkov, there aren't many games like it. Now there are, because it just hit such a critical spot in gaming that we never really had before, and it was in such a good place. But now the fact that you're trying to like extort your fans, you are no longer in the position to be like, well, nobody can argue against this, because there's so many other Tarkov like games that you're no longer the only extraction shooter. making people spend an extra $100 for this mode is nasty business. On top of that, I believe the even the people who spent like the initial 100, they're not even like there's so many pay to win mechanics in like the $250 edition that it's wild. Like I think one of the perks is like not losing any of your shit. Like when you buy a specific bundle, there's a certain amount of grid in your backpack that you won't lose if you die while you're getting extracted or while you're playing the game, which is bananas in and of itself. Like that's kind of heinous. Like the whole point of the game was the fact that when you die you lose all your shit. I thought that was the purpose or like the appeal to this kind of a game. I never played Tarkov because I saw that and I said that sounds infuriating as shit. I would hate to lose my shit off of some BS. Like that's not for me. So now to have people pay to avoid that core mechanic of your game is literally pay to win. Like that is literally, I think that shit may even be illegal on how pay to win it is. So I don't know how the fuck they're gonna get away with this one, but we'll see what happens. Tarkov has a lot of explaining to do though. They're really fucking over their fan base, a loyal fan base at that, because the people who play Tarkov, that's like damn near the only thing that they play. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just corporate greed at it again. Like, hey, look at this stupid ass decision we made to try to get a couple extra bucks in our pocket. Like, was it really worth it in the end? Because you may get sued. Like, if this turns into a lawsuit, you're in such a big trouble. Like class action too. Like, might as well sell this shit to Embracer.
Yeah, this shit is, bro. This ain't the devs' first rodeo being in the hot seat for doing dumb shit. And you can look at their comments on previous things, like, you know, like having women, you know what I'm saying, characters in the game and stuff like that. Like, this is not their first rodeo saying stupid shit, but just having a situation that is so easily, you know, addressed as, damn, sorry, we fucked up. We were doing too much, bro. I'm sorry. We're trying to get some more money out this. Let's back it up. Let's do right by y'all because you promised all future DLC. But instead of doing the sensible thing and actually, you know, showing love to your most loyal people who are going to spend the most money on your game, what you did was pedal over the definition of DLC. You pedaled over the definition of DLC. You still have that extra DLC. It's just DLC. You have that extra DLC up for people that quote unquote want to support the game, and you remove priority access from the people who have the previous version to keep that other version up. And it's a whole fucking mess. I think it was like there's like a discount that they're giving to people who bought the $100 version. So they're like, oh, so if you guys want to upgrade to this version, you get a 50% discount, but you still have to pay money, one, and two, if you want to try this new shit that, you know, you long time supporters of this game have, you know, want to get into, if you want to try it, you're gonna have to pay for it. So good luck, pay for it some more. Like, and that is the scummiest shit I've seen in a minute, bro. And the day before was just a thing not too long ago. You know what I mean? Like that's insane. What's up with these extraction shooters, bro? What's up with some of y'all, man? What's up with some of y'all? I don't understand how they don't have more flack right now. They need to be lit on. They need to be lit on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? They need to be lit up in terms of like the press and just overall coverage of this. Like, they actually have to be like focused on this is bad. This is bad. You know what I'm saying? Actions against customers in the highest order. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I've never seen just a turn like this on their own player base, and you've been in early access since 2017. It's literally been over 5 years, bro. It's been over half a decade, and these same people who are supporting your game to the hilt, and you're just gonna say, nah, fuck you guys. Pay me some more money if you want to go get this extra shit, instead of actually doing right by the people and keeping your promises at the beginning. Instead of keeping your promise to say all future DLC, you're gonna move the goalposts and say, oh, this ain't DLC though. This is just a brand new, you know, gameplay feature experience that you're gonna add on to the game. Like, bro, who gives a fuck? What is this called? It's not Gray Zone Warfare. Is that what it's called? A Gray Zone, whatever the fuck it is.
No, a gray area.
Yeah, some shit like that. I don't even remember.
No, I don't think this would really even be a gray area. Like, I think they could make I think the argument could be made, but at the end of the day, that's not a feature. Like, that's quite literally a game mode I believe, to my knowledge, would be considered like a game mode added after development. Like, that's quite literally has to be labeled as DLC. There's no way that's not DLC. But if we really want to fucking get real technical and shit, every fucking thing after the game was created is downloadable content. Like it's so that is such a broad term that I don't think they would really win the argument of it not being DLC. They would have a better chance of it of changing the shit that people paid for.
It's
insane. Funny as shit. It's nasty. It's super nasty. And this is the shit that happens that people think is the fault of DEI. Like this is the shit that happens, and this is ran by white dudes. Like it's a bunch of white dudes. This is my thing,
you
bro. Need to fight. You need to fight against this type of shit. You guys are worried about the wrong battles, bro. This is the type of shit y'all should be fighting about. But instead, y'all worried about a black woman in gaming. Like that shit don't, like a black woman as your protagonist. Y'all aren't serious about having good games because you guys aren't really trying to have good games. Like you guys are just letting motherfuckers get away with murder.
Dog, bro, it's saying DEI, bro. These companies are dicking you endlessly on the internet, bro. That's the DEI you need to be focused on, brother. Like you're getting shafted. These people are telling you you're going to pay us more money, and you're just like, oh, that's tough, bro. Why you do that? I guess I'll just sell out more money. You're sitting there in basically in the damn cuck chair, and you know what I'm saying? And everybody else is trying to mind their business and make other games. You're, oh, DEI game, blah, blah, blah. You are fighting the wrong battles, gentlemen. You're fighting the wrong battles. You need to sit back, look at what's going on, and actually fight with your wallet on these stupid things, bro. These guys are literally, listen, I don't know if it's legal, but it might be legalized bank robbery because they taking everything y'all own, bro. They taking everything that y'all even, you know what I'm saying, decided to put towards this game, and they're disrespecting you more. They're disrespecting you every single day. And where's the coverage? Again, this shit should be everywhere, bro. This is basically from like last week, bro. This should have been everywhere. I'm shocked. I am very, very shocked at how deep this went, and shame on Battle State, you know what I'm saying, Games, BSG, shame on all of them for just the wild stuff that's been going on with this. Ridiculous. I hope that people can buy their games. I hope that people that buy these games can be done, you know, right by, and actually have some support. But also in the other sense, I hope a lot of these people who are supporting these games, they wise up, bro. I would not be able to support some shit like this, bro. I couldn't. Like this is blatant disrespect to just the common gamer, and that sucks. Gotta lock in, people. Ridiculous. Man, ain't no way, bruh. But let's slide into another topic here. Let's talk about Hasbro. Yes, Hasbro, the you know what I'm saying, the toys and all that other stuff like that. They've been involved. They've been around the block, you know what I mean? But it's time to talk about how they're jumping into video games. All right, there's a lot of stuff that's going down with you know, their jump. They've seen a real big opportunity to, you know, get into it and see what's going on with video games at a broad stroke. They have 4 AAA studios so far. They're again over $1 billion into investment on these studios and different games that they're making. We'll get into, you know, we'll get into the games first, actually, because I want to talk about some of these projects, what they might have on the slate, and you know what might be coming down the pipe from them, and then we'll get to the kind of the macro conversation about how they fit into the gaming space and what they look like. So first, let's just, you know, stop in Exodus, the Exodus game from Archetype Entertainment. It's that one game that we saw that kind of looked Mass Effect-ish with Matthew McConaughey, kind of the space time travel. Just a quick note, again, Exodus, where you stand on Exodus, when?
I think it was interesting. Still need to see more though.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Just need a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, sauce on it to give a good picture of where they're basically at. That's fine. Next one up, we had a very, very big report that even got its own separate little note that Snake Eyes G.I. Joe, that game will be in the works, and it will be running similar to Batman Arkham, that series. Some of the devs who are working on the Snake Eyes project, they're at Atomic Arcade, and some of those executives and long-term vets, they were involved in the making of the Arkham series, so they want to try and key and fit G.I. Joe Snake Eyes himself into that mold of you know, Batman in those games. So how do you feel about this news?
I think that looks dope, but I would have preferred it to do something more of a Metal Gear Rising type of vibe. But I don't think that it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad step either way. I still think it's a pretty good decision they made.
Yeah, you couldn't go wrong with either option in my opinion. Yeah, G.I. Joe. That's a really like that's just a kick-ass franchise in my opinion. This is like a lot like we just want action, you know what I'm saying, non-stop type shit. Very, very untapped potential, and I think this could be a really strong hit. Emulating the Arkham series is a very, very smart move. I think that fits very, very well. Wondering what some of the narrative, what the build's gonna look like, but that path of thinking, that logic is very smart from them if they want to build it, because I feel like also in general I feel like we haven't had a AAA dose of that kind of Arkham combat in a minute, so that could be very fruitful for them. That could be very, very fruitful for them. That could be a good project. The next one up was a brand new Dungeons and Dragons game from Invoke Studios. So how do you feel about a brand new D&D game from Invoke?
Yeah, we'll see. Again, I like D&D, but the magic that D&D games have had, only one person could really replicate it, and they're not working on it. So we'll see what happens. And
last but certainly not least, we had the last game out of the 4. It was a horror game coming from Skeleton Key Dev there out of Austin, Texas. I guess a horror game. I'm not sure what they worked on before. They might be a brand new studio actually. So how do you feel about that?
I will watch other people play it.
Understandable. But yeah, okay, cool. Those are the 4 games that we're looking at. That's what they have on the slate. But just looking at some of the other information that was provided in the reports, apparently they have a much larger portfolio on hand that we know in terms of pipeline and projects they're actually trying to bring in. They're aiming to be quote unquote authentic and quality focused. Hasbro apparently definitely plans to give teams time to develop games as long as they need. It sounds good. It sounds great. I'm not gonna lie, all this does. But can they actually bring this to life? Can they deliver? And I want to talk about, just their track record, because I've learned over the past week, especially from the comments on one of our shorts. Shout out to everybody who's commented like 1,000 fucking times that it's not necessarily Wizard of the Coast that was doing all the bad faith and bad deeds on the D&D franchise and Baldur's Gate and their involvement with Larian Studios. It was actually Hasbro really trying to push that front and forcing Wizard of the Coast hand into some decisions on D&D that weren't the most favorable. So there's a lot of talk about, can Hasbro show good faith and show good practice in developing gaming franchises, but it also kind of conflicts with some of the track record that I'm hearing and I've learned about from their involvement on Baldur's Gate 3, how the loops and hoops that they had to jump through for that, and what the outlay of their actions prior on gaming has shown. So in terms of outlook, what they're trying to put forth versus what they've kind of shown in the past, any concerns, any just prevailing thoughts about where Hasbro needs to be at mentally?
Oh, you know me, I think that this is not going to end well at all, but I'm a pessimist. That being said, I think that for Hasbro to do well, like, you kind of need somebody to push back on the higher ups that know nothing and want to know nothing about creating video games. Like, you need somebody like manning the ship and also defending the developers. I have no faith in Hasbro being able to make quality games, because at the end of the day, they know how to make plastic toys to make money. Like, toys are just money-making machines to them. They don't really care about making good toys. They care about making toys that make them money. Like, truly, I don't think any of them really even see what they do as like anything other than just making money. So when you're telling me that they're making video games now, and you're telling me that they're going to start letting people take their time and take as much time and money as they need, no, I couldn't believe that. That's the furthest from the truth. I couldn't believe that at all. I think what they're saying that to build some kind of like good rapport with gamers, but the products at the end of the day are going to speak for themselves. And I think truly the developers should also be speaking up and letting us know what happens. If they drop a G.I. Joe game and we're like, this shit is half baked and ass, I would love for them to be like, listen, we didn't really have a lot of time and there was a lot of crunch and da 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 da. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that if any of these companies make bad games for Hasbro, Hasbro will have no hesitation in shutting down that studio. They will have no hesitation in shutting down the studio, selling what they need to sell to get their money back. Like, at the end of the day, they want money. They want money. They don't really give a fuck about anything else. They're not sitting here trying to win a BAFTA. They're not sitting here trying to be like, I hope we do really well at the Game Awards. They want their bottom line. They want their money. And that's just unfortunately the biz. And I can't imagine the toy company really sitting down and being like, let's make some good quality art. Let's make some consumer friendly shit. I think a lot of companies that are getting into the gaming space, especially now, really just see how much money is being made by companies and are like, whoa, I want some of this Fortnite money. Fortnite toys are selling out the wazoo. Why can't we make this money off of it? It's a nasty corporate greed is really the problem in gaming right now. And hearing a big corporation getting into the space doesn't really fill me up with the joy.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Hasbro irks me, especially with what I've learned over the past week and change about their involvement with Baldur's Gate 3. And for those that are unfamiliar, basically with kind of just their situation between them, Wizards of the Coast, the prevailing, stories and things have gone and how this is laid out. They kind of announced that, hey, we're going to try and do a bunch of shit about Baldur's Gate and build more Baldur's Gate games after Baldur's Gate 3's success and And in some point prior, they literally fired a lot of people at Wizards of the Coast, and they burned a lot of bridges between the contacts at Wizards of the Coast that were actually in good with Larian Studios, and they worked together a lot. They had a lot of good contact, and a lot of people are saying that has prompted Larian to say, yo, we're done with Baldur's Gate. We're done with this. We're bowing out of how you treated those Wizards of the Coast people, our contacts, and how you're moving. So this is a very interesting thing, because the statements that they're putting out about them wanting to make authentic games, they want to give developers the time, I'm gonna believe it when I see it. I think it's a very hollow statement given that the track record is. I can't show utmost faith in somebody who's put Larian through a lot of hell, put Wizards of the Coast through a lot of hell on in hindsight over the creation of Baldur's Gate 3, and now that you see the success has come through, you want to capitalize on it as soon as possible with how many different studios, how many different games, this, that, and the third. It's just, I can't put my full faith in any of these projects. I can put interest, I can put intrigue. I cannot put my full faith knowing that if things do not go right, if there's a bad line of communication, or if there's something that might go slightly wrong, these corporate guys could snap, and it could be a very strenuous process, a very strenuous time developing a game under their banner, because if they're not seeing the results they want to see, if they don't see the progress that they want to see, they might turn on a dime and say, yo, after this project is out, you and you, half of y'all, get out, and we'll move it to the next thing. Or they'll take their IP, move it to the next studio, and leave these guys for dead. I don't see the goodwill in Hasbro's actions in video games. Even though this is their first big jump, what they've done so far to get slightly involved in video games, at least indirectly, has not been good. So there has to be some proof in the pudding. You either prove who you are, through what you've shown with Baldur's Gate 3, or you turn over a new leaf. Because that's what we've been seeing. So we have to, we gotta see. But I'm not the highest on confidence on Hasbro right now. Some really great projects, some really good ideas, but it's just the top brass that is behind this. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem to me that they're gonna really take the time to invest and slowly develop these games, because if there's anything AAA games, AAA projects, top line games, or whatever big investment projects in this industry need, it's time, care, and an executive team that understands what goes into this process to build, to just kind of, again, associate, incorporate so many different elements of gaming, so many talents across different studios, different teams, even across different companies. They need to understand the process in and out. They need to understand the time it takes, the requirements, and all of that, and they need to establish that goodwill from there. And that's my main thing with Hasbro. I haven't seen it in what they've done in the past, so there's not really much to go on with how they'll operate in the future until we see it happen live. So I can only wish the best of luck to the studios that are going into it. I hope these games come out fantastic. I hope there's a lot of good stuff that comes from it. But on Hasbro's front, You got a lot to prove. You got a lot to prove. All right, let's jump really quickly to some Switch news. Let's talk about the Switch. We've had even more details or rumors drop around just their rollout, what they're thinking about it, some details about the Switch 2 console itself. There's some claims that the console will come with some Joy-Con controls that like are magnetic, and they'll work with the Switch Pro controllers that we currently have right now, but the old Joy-Cons might not work from the last Switch generation. How do you feel about some of the switch ups of design on the next Switch that might be incoming early next year?
That's ridiculous because the Switch Joy-Cons are like $80 a piece, and the fact that I can't use the old ones on the new shit, that's heinous. That's that's kind of nasty. I like the concept of magnetic Switch controllers, but I'm afraid of like holding them and then like accidentally like tilting it, like like if you put your bend your hands in by accident and your whole middle screen falling out. I don't know how well that would work. We'll see. I feel like the regular Joy-Cons should work regardless, but you may not be able to charge them on the Switch, which again would still be stupid. Because they made them so fucking expensive. The bitches is expensive as shit, and you're telling me now that these are going to be obsolete? That's not something that should go obsolete if they're $80. Like they're about the same price as a Pro controller, if not more. So that's really disappointing to hear. But again, Nintendo being consumer friendly, that doesn't really track. Unfortunately, I would like the Switch 2 to be stronger processor. Like the backwards compatibility is a no-brainer for me. It's Nintendo; they've always kind of done that. But I really want to hear the things that people really care about is how strong is this Switch going to be? What's the price point? And like that's what I'm really more concerned about. But magnetic Joy-Cons, I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, the magnetic is gonna be weird. I'm not sure. The Switch Pro controller support I like, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about the old Joy. I guess if they're changing that design, then it probably wouldn't be compatible in any sense. Maybe that's just kind of hard to gauge, in my opinion. That sucks that the old Joy-Cons be there. If this slightly brings down the price of new Joy-Cons, then fucking wonderful. But I doubt it will. No,
I can't imagine that. They would probably just keep it the same, or just maybe they would go on sale more often. But again, what's the purpose of buying more Joy-Cons for more obsolete Joy-Cons? Because there's not even like a GameCube controller where people are like, I love this console, like I love this controller. No, I can't think of many people who have said, I love the Joy-Cons, I want to have them all. I don't know anybody who says that. Everybody says the same shit. These Jones suck and they break easily. And they're expensive as hell. So like I can't imagine people buying them just for the nostalgia value.
Yeah, I can't really see that either, honestly. But we'll see what happens, man. Early 2025, we'll see what the actual outlay of it is. Now, let's talk about Fallout, baby. Let's talk about Fallout. What's been up with the franchise, man? Because again, this has been a real big time for Fallout, I think, because of the show. It's really coming to its own. People have loved it. It's one of the highest rated shows on Prime Video. It's had a really big pickup. A lot of people interested, new, old, all that jazz. Fallout 4 came through. Fallout 76 was either free or on sale recently or some shit like that. There's such a big conversation with them and Bethesda at large. But first and foremost, there's been a lot of talk about the next Fallout, when we could see it, but more importantly, where do we want to see it go next? It seems like it's a long way out, but there's been a lot of chatter about where it could show up. And when you had a really good idea on the timeline, I just want to talk about potential locations that we might want to see and just theory craft a little bit about where Fallout could go.
Yeah, so like this topic came up to me when I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw an IGN article about it. I cannot take credit for thinking of this. But I think that a really good place they said this in their article, I think New Orleans is a phenomenal place to go. Great history of music, the bayou, just like being in it. That is an area I feel like we really haven't explored yet. Like imagine like exploring like the swamps. Oh my god, I could only imagine what that's gonna be like. But I would love to see it there. But the city I think that a lot of people overlook that I think would be a phenomenal setting would be Philadelphia, would be Pennsylvania. I think it would be a really I think it would be a really smart place to put it, just because like for my like I think Fallout has always been about like super American, hyper American patriotism, talking about like even Fallout 4, like the Minutemen and all these kinds of things. I would really love to see it in Philly, because I think that it has such a big part of American history. The patriotism would be through the roof in the Fallout universe. I couldn't imagine it not being.
Facts.
And one of the things that like I was concerned about, it being a city, like how would it look like in the Fallout universe? But if nukes hit the planet, the landscape could be completely different. We like Philly may not be the most green area, something like a West Virginia would be like, but because it would be set in Pennsylvania and it's like the map is different, like we would have Philly is maybe like the Commonwealth, or like your city area, and then having a bunch of more green areas on the outside of it. There's so much like history in the city of Philadelphia that I think would work so well in Fallout. Having like, I mean, like even like the Phillies, like our fucking basketball team is the 76ers. It's like all about the revolution. Like
it's right there.
It's all right there, and it just makes a lot of sense. I would love to see it, not even just because I'm from Philly, but I think it would be dope. But I think they should keep in terms with like, I think they should follow the 13 colonies kind of thing. Even though I loved it being set, I think there was one that was set in like California, like the West Coast, obviously much love to that side too, but I think Philly would be a really good solid spot for the next Fallout game.
Yeah, that's a really good spot. I can't even lie. That's a really solid spot. Damn, it was like the first two, right? It was the first two that were like I just had to.
They were in California, I think.
The
Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah, the first two were on West Coast stuff. Just I double confirm that. Yeah, just to make sure I'm not hitting any overlaps and stuff like that. So California was covered. Parts of Oregon were covered. Of course, Nevada and Mexico were covered. So in those first couple ones. New Orleans is a fantastic shot. I think New Orleans and Philly are probably like top shouts. I think those are top shouts. I think just because of just there's enough balance between open areas and crowded city streets and stuff like that. Like again, the New Orleans shout was really good. You could walk down, like the French Quarter and shit. Some of the wards, like that would be a really cool experience. Like you might get on like an airboat or something like that if you have the technology or whatever at the time. You just go through some of these sections, see these like giant ass or irradiated crocodiles and shit. People throwing beads that are like bombs or some shit like that, are just full of caps. I don't know. There's a lot of good ideas with New Orleans. Again, Philadelphia, that's a really good shout. I like your reasoning for that. Detroit, they literally just have to take photos of Detroit today. It would not even change in a nuclear fallout. That's about the same. You don't have to change the environment whatsoever. I think you can cover Fallout pretty much today. That could be live action, and that would be photorealistic to 2077, 2087, whatever you want to throw it. It was either that or Cleveland was getting the stick. I don't know who's gonna get it this episode, but it is what it is, man. But that's fair. Honestly, it will be a bit farther reach, but I'll say it as a as a member of the the crazy land, a resident of the crazy lands. Somewhere in Florida might actually be like a fair estimate. It has to be like a crowded area. It can only be literally in Orlando or Miami. It has to have enough population density or like building density in it to be considered a Fallout game. It has a good mix of it. Like a downtown Orlando would be cool, but I feel like it's on the small side. I would rather Miami, honestly, because there's enough like historical background and stuff like that where you can pull from on that side, and there's just a good mix of like the Everglades is there. So like what happens if the Everglades got nuked and shit, like giant ass alligators and stuff coming through the sewers, like that would be a cool thing. I'd rank it lower than a Philly and a New Orleans, but I think Florida would be a solid shout. I think Florida would be a solid shout, honestly. But yeah, I'm taking it to a new place. That is somewhere. Yeah. That's something that really
have we seen Texas yet? Have we? I don't think we've seen Texas yet.
I don't think we've seen Texas yet. Yeah,
Texas is a very drive-through city. Not drive-through, but like it's a lot of driving. But I think Texas would be a cool, like the concept of Texans in the Fallout capacity would be very interesting.
Facts. I was avoiding because I wasn't completely sure that we might have seen it before. Off the top of my head, I wasn't sure, but Texas would be fire. I think Texas would be fire. It has to have enough, like, it depends on where it is. Like, if it's in Austin, it's smaller. It has like a city center. It has like outside areas and stuff like that. Austin, I think, would be very, very like retraceable in a video game format. I think Austin is actually a fair shout for that. But outside of that, just kind of looking like, you know, Fallout and Bethesda at large. Speaking, you know, going from what place it is to, you know, what place it is we want to go to in Fallout to what place that Bethesda kind of holds in the rankings. There's been a lot of talk about, you know, when we want to see the next Fallout, what Bethesda's capabilities are. Todd Howard again said on the Kind of Funny Games podcast, he doesn't want to wait too long to see a new Fallout come through. And there's been a lot of talk about giving Bethesda more resources and potentially giving them more of the ball to run with. When you think about their hierarchy in Xbox's, you know, system, their umbrella and stuff, you have all these different brands and IPs. You could say that the most potential could lie with Bethesda. They could have the most potential, even amongst the Activisions, the Blizzards and stuff like that. Bethesda still could have a big part to play in Xbox's success going forward. Again, thinking about all the Fallouts, Elder Scrolls 6, again, Starfield still could be, you know, getting developed further down the line. Like, think about the engines, the TV shows is back. You know, there's a lot of things that are building with Bethesda. And my question to you, Wen, is, would you give them more power to do the things that they want to do? And how would you want to see that realized? Because I have my thoughts on it, but I want to kind of see, should Bethesda get more of the ball?
No, I don't think Bethesda should get more of the ball. And the reason I say this is because Bethesda didn't need the ball before. When Fallout 4 came out, like when we had these like Bethesda games, bro, I think the issue is that they become complacent. Like and I feel like I use this all the time, but they just don't seem as hungry to me anymore. Like, they don't seem like they're really trying. Even fucking Starfield, like, I know that they're like, we dialed back our ambitions to be able to deliver a game on time. I think time is something that they would need. I think giving them more time would be a different conversation. But I feel like the Bethesda that we have now isn't the same one that we had when they made Skyrim. Isn't the same one when they had when they made Fallout 4. Fallout 4. Like. And the thing is that, don't get me wrong, Fallout 4 wasn't even like the craziest game ever. Like, I'm playing it now and it's like, it's not like the settlement stuff has a lot of work that needs to get done. And it's not even like work in the sense of like Fallout 4, like settlements didn't work. It was just clunky as shit, but it was fun, right? Like, they took a big ass chance and they put a lot of effort into it. And then the community went back and fixed it with mods and shit like that. But they just didn't wow me with that, with what they've done with 76. They didn't really wow me with what they did with Starfield. And maybe it's because they're afraid of going with their ambition. Like, if that's what Todd Howard means, like, I want more of the ball, as in, like, let me cook, like, let me truly take my time and cook with this shit, then yes. If it's more money they want, like, if the money's gonna go towards like better engines or equipment, like, I just don't know if they really need, like, if they really have it in them. I want to see something from them that will truly blow my mind. So if you're telling me would I give them more money, I may boost the ratings, but to make them my soul, put all my chips on Bethesda, I cannot say I would do that, because I don't really know who they have to blame for Fallout 76. That was before they got acquired by Xbox, right? Like, that was before they got bought out. They made those decisions on their own. And even Fallout 4 had issues. A lot of people were upset with Fallout 4.
And this drop was even jankier than usual.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, to sit there and be like, yo, bet all your chips on me. I don't think Xbox really can, because if you're putting all the money towards Bethesda, Avowed's gonna suffer. Other companies are gonna suffer. Like, look at the people who made Outer Worlds. That game is not on a grand scale like a Fallout game, but it was fucking solid, right? They scaled back and they did what they wanted to do on a smaller scale, and it was really fucking good. A better space exploration game, a better space game than some would say Starfield was. And that's the shit that I'm looking for. I don't think I need to give a big ass company more fucking money for them to disappoint me again. Like, they still need to fix a lot of the shit that they've wronged the community to begin with. Like, Fallout 76, people are saying, like, every time I see a TikTok about Fallout 76, they all say the same shit. One dude was like, I wish it was actually a bad game because then I would have something to talk about. But it's just like walking around to Kohl's. Like shit is just like expensive as fuck. You're kind of just doing whatever really, and so to pass the time. Like I just don't. They need to prove it to me. They need to prove it to me in some kind of smaller scale that they could do something, or even just like, hey, we built this build of Fallout 5. This is what we're planning on doing. This is how we plan on making it run. This is the shit that we want to do. Because if you put all your money towards them, you as Xbox, you can't afford to do that. You don't have the money. You can't fuck over all the other companies. This is what happens when you acquire too many things. You can't bet on companies the way you would want to, because all this money you're putting towards Fallout could have went to Call of Duty, and now Call of Duty's suffering. When that shit, you know, it could have garnered some money, but you put it all in Bethesda's lap. I think Bethesda could do amazing things with the right resources, but I just don't know if they really got it in them these days, because Starfield was a huge ass disappointment in my opinion. And when smaller companies can do what they were doing better than them, then shit, fucking, I don't know, man.
I would slightly agree and disagree with you on that point. This is my thing. I'm not saying give them money to do whatever they want. I think Xbox, in their technical expertise, has a lot of upside to give Bethesda to really flourish in certain ways. I'll tackle two different distinct things. One, working on their engine and really fast tracking it to be, you know, not just up to today's standard, but also a little bit further. Make it state of the art. Make it really like close to, you know, really good. The creation engine, it's done a lot of good, but it's also very dated. It's very, you know, I've heard stories of like, you know, it being a little bit techy to work with. Like, if Xbox can provide them, you know, I'm not sure what the theory is of them changing creation engine or moving on from creation engine. I don't think they necessarily should remove it, but there needs to be heavy set updates to what the capabilities of creation engine can do, how it moves, how it feels. There needs to be big overhauls to what it provides, in my opinion, and Xbox can help with that resource wise. It's a big resource that I think can help boost all of their games to not only be, you know, of a standard that they see fit, but everybody can see fit. So supporting in that way, I think Xbox can and should help Bethesda in that sense, because it's not only it's gonna have a knock-on effect to every IP that they touch going forward for Bethesda's stuff. Again, with you saw how Starfield felt. Like, it felt a little bit dated. It felt like we're being drawn back a little bit too far. Like, we want to get pushed forward with some stuff, and if they had at least better you know, hold on a more progressive engine, or a more progressive iteration of that engine, we might have seen something different. You know, I think that could be a big thing that maybe, you know, Xbox was a little bit too late to the party on, since Starfield was being worked on for so long. They kind of had to let them rock, but they have say now. They have a chance to, you know, improve the dynamics of the project now, a future project for Bethesda now. So that help with the engine, help with the technical expertise to really build out and modernize and push forward and future proof that ability to create those games in that engine. That's a big thing that I think that they could really capitalize on in general. And two, I think not necessarily for Xbox's side, but for Bethesda's, not necessarily increasing their resources, but increasing their range. I want them to have more time for their franchises. Right now, Fallout is not a main plan. Fallout has not been planned for anything. In my opinion, and I know people are gonna be mad at this. Not necessarily mad, but everybody's gonna be, you know, say their shit about it. But I think they should outsource Fallout. They should give Fallout to somebody else for now, for the immediate future or whatever. If Fallout's getting this level of hype from the TV show, this level of hype from Fallout 76, you know what I'm saying, it's having a knock-on effect, and Fallout's back in the eyes of the public again. If capitalizing on the moment is really key, and I think that's what again, like, Epic is good at. That's what Sony's really good at, taking their IPs and really capitalizing on them at the same time in multiple formats, whether it be TV to games to movies, blah blah blah. Bethesda and Xbox, by and large, has an opportunity to do that with Fallout in the near future, what they do with the next season and blah blah blah. I think outsourcing not only gives Fallout the chance to be, again, fast-tracked in development to somebody that's going to give a different spin on the Fallout franchise. They have the resource of Bethesda to go to for, pushback and feedback and all stuff like that. It also frees up a lot of time and focus for Bethesda to really bunker down the hatches and stuff and focus on a product that they can really put their all into, not be too spread thin or whatever, and have a real running start at something like an Elder Scrolls 6 and give the time that they need. Like you said, I think it's more time than actual money resources on a lot of different fronts, except for the engine talk. But in terms of the actual games themselves, it's more time and actual steadfast like development and feedback and those iterations than actual money in terms of throwing it at building the game outside of the engine. You know what I mean? I agree with you on that point, but I think it delves into that area, and I think them outsourcing Fallout, you know what I'm saying? And yes, I am a New Vegas fan. You're damn right I'm a New Vegas fan. If you were thinking I was heading that way, you're damn right I am. All right, I'm not saying Obsidian exactly. I'm not saying they should outsource it to them indefinitely. I'm not saying that they're the one. But in general, if they give Fallout, if they give, a franchise that they're not giving all their time and attention to right now to somebody else, and have some creative oversight in terms of making sure it stays in line with the lore, the world, the tone, the fit of a Fallout, they can really spread their wings on the stuff that they focus on. Their other IPs grow, and there's a win for Bethesda all around and a win for Xbox at large. So I think, in my opinion, yes, they should be supported, but not the ways that you might think. If they give more resources in terms of money, time, and technical expertise of Xbox to Bethesda with updates and upgrades to the creation engine, and they move Fallout out to somebody else, and they all three can put their heads together and create something good on the side, while Bethesda focuses on their again franchise like what was it called, Elder Scrolls 6 and whatever they have going on next. I think they're working on some other project I forgot about off the top of my head. What's it called? Indiana Jones and stuff like that. I mean, that's already done, but you know what I'm saying. If they have time to focus more on that, and they have updates to their engine to really bring stuff forward, I think they're in a golden spot. I think they step up in the pecking order for Xbox a massive amount, higher than they already are. Even though they're one of the first ones to get brought in under the banner, I still think they have a lot more to give. They have so much more to give, and I think they really can realize that if they start to move towards expanding their horizons in terms of their development power and in terms of really pushing their engine forward. And Xbox can't help with that. Xbox should be looking into ways, I feel like I'm dumb compared to the experts, of course, bruh. Like they're probably already thinking of ways to really build these avenues up for Bethesda, because at the end of the day, it's gonna add so much strength to their IP. So that's how I feel, man. Bethesda really has a lot of potential, and if Xbox can start to bunker down the hatches, really start working with them in those certain ways, I think that they'll blow up even bigger than they had. They'll hit a real big resurgence past the points of what we've seen before from them.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that's something that they should have done a while ago, because I think Fallout 4 being the last Fallout before 76 definitely hurt them a lot. Because if I would have been able to go from Fallout 4 into Fallout I don't know, New Seattle or some shit like that, like I think it would have been a better experience. And then being like, oh, Fallout 76 is like, well, if I don't like this, I can always just jump back to this one. And it's something that, had you dropped another Fallout game with the same engine, same graphics, same gameplay as Fallout 4 before 76, I don't think I would even be upset. Even to this day, if you were to drop something similar to Fallout 4 today, it would get like a 7, maybe a 6, right? Yeah. But I'd still play it because I'm a big Fallout fan. I really enjoy that franchise. But I think they kind of missed their mark. Now, if they drop a Fallout game, it has to be better. It has to be significantly better than what we've played in 4. And that's a little bit of a problem, because now you have to spend a lot of time making something new. Skyrim is stupid dated. We could never get a Fallout. We couldn't get a Skyrim New Vegas if we wanted to, because we would be like, this game is too fucking old. Yeah. And that's really where they kind of really just shot themselves in the foot. And like maybe like I'm starting to see what you're saying, and I think that I agree that they need to give this to somebody else while they work on something big and ambitious and upgrade their engines, something that is huge. Yeah. Because they genuinely cannot, the level of ambition and desire they want, they cannot keep up with it. And that's why we're waiting so long for games that are mediocre, because they are trying to stay relevant while also trying to redefine the game, like they did back in those days when they made their fame. So it is a sticky situation, but I completely agree. I would love a, like, even if they were to do a game in the same engine as Fallout 4 that plays the same as the way Fallout 4 runs now, like I wouldn't call this shit the best game in the world. Would I pay X amount of money for it? I probably wouldn't. I'd wait for a sale. But I'd end up buying it, and I'd end up playing it because I do enjoy these games, and they still, the engine kind of still holds up. Like, it's still fun to play, but it is not worth $70 like something like a Dragon's Dogma, or even like I'm trying to think of a better example. But like the quality of games, there's a lot of really high quality games out there that yeah, like some shit like that. Like even that game right there is a perfect example of like, hey, we're not trying to recreate the system here, but we know what you guys enjoy, and we're going to give you what you enjoy. And that's what I would have wanted from Bethesda, but they're taking too long. Like if Like a Dragon came out, Like a Dragon, I think came out maybe 2 years after the last one. And it's improvements, but it's nothing game changing. But had it been a 5-year wait for that level of improvement, I'd have been like, this is ridiculous, you know? But yeah, I think that if they really want to stay relevant and stay competitive, they could definitely give their IP to somebody else. Like, it's been proven before that they don't need to be the ones to make the Fallout games, because other people can do it really well. Even looking at the modding community, a lot of the
Fallout London damn near thought they was the Fallout, you know what I'm saying? But that's the devs themselves, bro. They felt appalled when the update came out. They was like, oh, what the fuck, bro? Like they was that stuck in.
Shit. Like, there's so much good shit in the modding community that, like, you could even just pull some of them people aside and be like, hey, we would like for you to build a DLC for this game, or we would like it just doesn't make sense. But no, I agree with you that somebody else should definitely man the helm. And if it's something like that, then yes, give them more money to make more content. But if you're gonna put all your chips in on Todd Howard to take his time with something, like, that's a risk I don't know if I'd be able to take.
Yeah, nah, I would. I can't say I'm gonna sharpen your tools, but I'm not gonna give you the entire shot clock. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I could agree with that. All right, let's get to the point about Square Enix, man. Let's talk about Square Enix. And I think we might have mentioned this in a previous episode. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just rumored and it wasn't confirmed, but Square Enix has been going through a really big just restructuring with the new CEO, his new plan and such. Apparently multiple projects have been canned, they've been canceled, they have been put down for good to streamline development and be more selective when it comes to future projects from Square Enix's perspective. They have apparently incurred a loss of about $140 million to make this plan happen and cancel the projects, to just, you know, pay those fines to make sure they start kind of fresh and move forward in the best possible way. So that project plan's in place, it's moving. A lot of projects have been gone. I assume there's a fair bit of stuff that people would have liked to see, but still, it is what it is. But how do you feel about this new plan from Square Enix?
Did they cancel Kingdom Hearts?
Nah, I doubt they canceled Kingdom Hearts. I don't think they would have canceled Kingdom Hearts. If they did, they're idiots, but they're not stupid.
Bananas if they did this to me.
They're not stupid. They're not stupid. don't even put that in the air. They're not stupid.
Nah. In all honesty, I think it's a smart move. I do think that they've been kind of fragmented in a lot of the stuff that they do. I really would love to see what they decided to scrap. Truly, that's a bigger question, but I think that this is not bad for them whatsoever. Scrapping some shit just to focus in on stuff makes a lot of sense. Like, imagine if you didn't have Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16 being developed at the same time. Or imagine if you had Final Fantasy, well, also I think Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth was also being made at the same time. Like, there's so many big games that were being developed at the same time that I think definitely hurt each other. Even thinking about it now, like what's in development at the same time as Kingdom Hearts 4, or what's in development at the same time as Kingdom Hearts 3? If I'm not mistaken, Final Fantasy 7 was also in development at the same time as Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep, at the same time. That was technically Final Fantasy 15 was too. It was that damn long.
That's so many people, so many cooks working at the same building, at the same kitchen. Like, you could pull, like, I think one of the coolest things about 16 was that they were able to pull so many talented people from other areas to be like, yo, can you come over here and work on the combat for this? I can't remember who it was. He was like, was he the director for Devil May Cry? The dude who worked on the combat for Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, Yoshida.
But, yeah, like I think I can't remember. But no, there's like it was.
Oh, Itsuno, right? Itsuno.
Yeah, I think so.
My fault. And so, yeah, it was Itsuno. I'm pretty sure it was Itsuno.
But like, imagine if you had those resources available to you on other games. Like, imagine if you had these people being able to be pulled at other times, or not necessarily being pulled, but like not being pulled in so many different directions. That's the thing that I think is the most important, is that there's so much goes into making video games, and having those resources available to other areas of your company would be really, really beneficial. I think it's just like it was a race just to get more money in the door, but I think it also makes the game suffer, which then in turn hurts the numbers coming in the door. And I also think that we're in a place in time where you're never going to not compete with games. Like, you're never going to be able to put out a game where there's no competition. There are still some months where you will have a lot of leeway, but a lot of leeway back in the day was I am 3 months out from my next biggest competition, whereas now it's like you have a month to work with. If you don't capture that audience in a month, their other game is going to come out. So I think making higher quality games at a slower rate would be more beneficial. Cutting down the cost of some of these games would be better than coming out swinging and being like, yo, we're going to drop fucking Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16 and you know what I'm saying, like slowing it down and working correctly.
I agree.
That being said, I hope it's not any good. I hope the projects that were canceled, maybe some of them should have just been like canceled indefinitely, but like, hey, we're gonna put this exactly. Like, I still think Forspoken could be a phenomenal franchise with the right time and the right leadership. But I do think that it's something that's going to take a lot of time to really flesh out. And I would hate to see certain franchises dying for no real reason. So hopefully this streamlines the process and gives them resources that they can work with. But hopefully we're not losing a lot in the process.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at Square Enix again, they're no stranger to frayed development cycles and some big expectations and some underhits for things, some overspending on projects and such. And I think this plan is very smart. It's very astute at this point. Square Enix needs to focus in. They got to lock in. And I feel like we have talked about this before at length, at least somewhere on the podcast, but rate this shit 5 stars, because you probably have heard this before if you've been listening for a good minute. But like, they need to focus up. They've spread themselves too thin with a lot of different IPs, a lot of different projects that might not have hit, and they need to at least take it 2 steps back, reassess the playing field, and kind of bank on some of their solid hits. I feel like, again, the bad performances of Forspoken, the underselling of Final Fantasy 16, and at this point on pace, in time it'll probably sell like hotcakes again, like when you look at the long-term numbers. But Rebirth ain't selling as fast as Remake, for obvious reasons that we covered last week. It's a weird spot to be in, but them taking their time and first and foremost fixing at least the development focus to be a little bit more a little less scatterbrained. You know what I'm saying? Again, I looked at the development between the Final Fantasies, Kingdom Hearts 3 during like the late 2010s, early 2020 cycle to really compare and see how many teams were frayed. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use the Kingdom Hearts example because damn it, that's my franchise and shit, and I still feel hurt by that cycle. Like, again, the Osaka team was kind of split off. What's it called? Nomura went to work on Final Fantasy Remake, but then he had to split some time with there. Responsibilities got divvied up, gameplay fields got switched, engines got switched. There were so many things that happened in there that there wasn't necessarily continuity at some points, and that again impacted the product. I'm not saying it led to the state that Square Enix is in now, but just that the characteristics, we got to try and fix those in terms of development process. So them hopefully opening up some of their channels to be a bit more inclusive of other platforms. Some of the exclusivity might be a thing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit quicker to the gun to try and get exclusivity out the window for some of these games. I would love to see more Xbox, more games on other platforms, again, like Final Fantasy on Xbox. I would love to see it come a lot quicker. Maybe that could be a big boost to like their sales numbers and stuff. In general, their sales expectations might need to be dialed back a slight bit to try and not lean on these heavy hitters so much and let it grow and flourish in time. Yeah, that's my biggest thing. If they can open up some of their some of their deals, like just put they did it eventually, but the exclusivity deals, making sure that they keep it open as possible. That when you think about the franchise like Kingdom Hearts, like Final Fantasy, those are real legacy titles, in my opinion. Those are real like legacy titles, and the children of those legacy titles who grew up with those things, they're all over the place now. So you don't want to necessarily, in my personal opinion, you don't want to alienate those people trying to sign into an exclusivity deal because you've known that one brand. Your fan base, your player base is all across all these platforms. I think Square Enix can identify with that more than most brands or gaming platforms or studios today. A lot of their franchises are tried, true, and tested over the span of 20-30 years, and kind of shoehorning themselves into one platform might not be the best play for how wide their fan base is across so many different platforms, regions, different demographics and such. I feel like that could be a big play. So if they open that just a little bit more, I think they'll have a much more fruitful time. Again, that includes big PC infusion. I don't want to wait a year, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to wait a year, 2 years for Final Fantasy and stuff. I hope that timelines for their games and the exclusivity contracts can get smaller and smaller as we go along, and I think that'll be a big help for them. But yeah, I have faith in this. This is a smart plan. This is a good plan to really, again, center themselves, really steady their hand when it comes to the development process and making sure they're hitting the right markers, they're doing the right things, they're not rushing anything out, they're really putting quality behind it, they're not stretching their team too thin, and they're creating good products at the end of the day. This is smart. I agree with this. All right, we only have one story in the trailer trove, man. Speaking of Square Enix, we've heard word. It's flip-flopped a little times, but now the correction is apparently in. We've heard word that Kingdom Hearts, a live action / CGI hybrid film, is in development. When? Before I lose my mind, give me your thoughts.
I think that this would be a really good Tom Holland type of film.
Oh
like
my gosh!
I know motherfuckers have already said that, but I think that man would have a plucky brown-haired boy with great optimism.
Oh my gosh!
And I think it would only be, further enhanced by having a young, dark-haired, sinister-esque friend of his, maybe like the Timothy Chalamet type. We don't know what his schedule is like.
I'm gonna unlock myself from this realm. I'm gonna be in the realm of darkness. I'm gonna realm of darkness myself. Nah, we can't do this, bro. Nah, no. I can't let you get away with it. Why?
Listen. I think it makes the absolute. I don't know what Timothy Chalamet will look like with gray hair or silver hair, as some would call it. Might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think it would be interesting. We could get a little racially ambiguous Kyrie in the form of Zendaya. Like,
I fucking hate it here. I hate it here.
It's so. We don't know. Will they, won't they? Type of vibe. I could see that press tour. The chemistry on screen from all those would be immaculate if you ask me personally.
You ain't shit. For
being right. Hey, listen, that's not even my wildest take. If we could get Tyrese to be answering the wise.
No. Hey man, the Heartless, this is crazy. Oh shit.
You mean to tell me these is nobodies? How they nobodies, but I see them. They got bodies.
My stomach, bro. Fuck you. You ain't shit. This is bull. This is such bullshit. Oh my gosh. Listen, man. Fuck.
Executive produced by Jordan Peele.
Oh, how the fuck does he factor into this? How does he factor into this?
Hey, listen, we're gonna get a slow down, simple and clean.
Oh my gosh. all the minor keys. Simple
Yeah.
and clean. The way that I fit. With a fucking echo. Oh my gosh. I swear down. There's so much that
you walk away.
I hate it, bro. Everything used to be nice on the island. Bing. Fucking, I swear down. This is such bullshit, man.
You're telling me you don't get Tom Holland, Timothy Chalamet vibes when he says, "Whoever wins this race wins Kyrie's heart." You tell me you don't think? Come on, I know I'm not the only one who sees it. Chat. Everybody in the comments, let me know if you'd watch Tom Holland with the Keyblade, him across Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Seth Rogen is Goofy.
Oh, Seth Rogen as Goofy. It's not even that's such bullshit. But I want to watch two people fucking fight for their lives over fucking the day I watch challengers and shit, man. This is bull, bro. Oh my gosh. Listen, go ahead.
But in all seriousness, I think personally, I think CGI makes sense to me. Like if they do what they did with the Final Fantasy movie, I don't know if you've seen the Final Fantasy 15 movie. I think it was Kingslave.
Yeah.
I allegedly found it on a place to watch it, and I remember watching it and being like, "Damn, this shit is gorgeous!" Like the fucking these cutscenes, like this. I don't know why we don't use that like animation style more often. I think it really does look beautiful, and I think for something like Kingdom Hearts, it makes sense. I think they also did like a Final Fantasy with that style of Final Fantasy 7 style movie with that style of animation, but I think it just makes sense personally because it has like the realism that I think people really want from movies at points, from like their live action Marvel movies, but it also is like you can do a lot more with it. It's gonna be a little polarizing. I could see it not doing well I could see it not doing well in like regular theaters, and that's the only issue why I'm a little afraid of it. But personally speaking, I love that style of animation. It looks really fucking cool.
Now, if that was solely that style of animation, I would say I'm more excited for this. At first, the initial report was it was going to be animated, so I was like, "Oh shit!" Like solely animated, then we're cooking, we're in business. I would be way more excited. But as soon as they said live action, what the fuck are we gonna do about a fucking dog, a fucking duck, and a fucking 10-year-old boy walking through islands in some big ass shoes? What are we doing here? What is this? What is this? What locations are we using for this? There's so many bad and fearful questions that I don't want to ask that are involved in it. Oh my gosh. Let's not do this. Let's not do this, bro. You already took Cowboy Bebop from me. You already did it. Why are you taking all the things that I love? Why Hollywood? What's the point? It's such bullshit, bro. And you know what? This is one time where I know they're gonna Kingdom Hearts, at least a solid 60% of the fan base will see this shit and they'll be like, what the fuck is going on? There's no way they're gonna service this shit. I know they're 100% vocal and they will be mad about this shit. All right, like I'm just again, if it was majority, if not entirely in that CGI like the King's Glaive style, I would 100% do it. Because again, even some of the like the ending and beginning cutscenes of Kingdom Hearts and what's it called, like Final Fantasy, like Lightning Returns and shit, that style is fucking great.
Gorgeous.
It's great. It's fantastic. I would love to see a full movie like that. That would be wonderful. That would be perfect, honestly, in my opinion. If you animated it just like those ending cutscenes, ending, beginning, you know what I'm saying, those things, that would be great. But we know Hollywood is so bullshit. We know Hollywood's bullshit. You're gonna put some random fucking casting in this, bro. I'm like, bro, we don't want to see these. We don't want to see these people. We don't want to see these people in real life. I don't want to see a real life human walking next to Goofy, bro. I'm already close enough in proximity to that living in Florida, bruh. I'm okay. Disney World's right there up the road. I'm all right, bruh. I don't need that. Like, no. As if I've never been more confident of a thing before. Hell no. Is there a chance I watch this in theaters? Unfortunately, it's non-zero. There is a slight chance it might happen, but I'm pissed off the whole way, bro. No, this is worse. This is worse than Yu Hakusho. This is worse than what's it called? What's the name? what's it called, Cowboy Bebop. This is worse. This is not just anime. This is not just stuff I watch. You tapping into my soul now. You tapping into the soul. All right, this is bullshit. Can't stand y'all motherfuckers, man. Fuck Hollywood.
So you're telling me if The Rock showed up as Sephiroth, you wouldn't be hyped?
Give a fuck. I'm getting off this fucking topic. I'm getting out of here.
You think you can beat me with that pansy ass Keyblade?
Oh my goodness! So shut your mouth and enjoy the ride Sephiroth is taking you on. Like, no, I can't do it.
It doesn't matter which Xehanort you are.
My gosh, no, I'm getting off the topic. I have no notes left. I'm getting off of this podcast. When is there anything that we missed?
Outside of FaZe Clan straight up 360 no scoping their entire roster, nah, not really.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot that happened. That's wild, man.
Rip to those creators who like, well, except for the ones who were scamming crypto.
Yeah.
Rip to those creators who actually were doing some cool shit. Heart goes out to you. Yeah, fuck FaZe Clan, but for me, it's always been fuck FaZe Clan. I never trusted them motherfuckers to begin with, but it is quite sad to see.
Yeah, that is tough. I can't even front, man. Shouts to all the good folks that was a part of FaZe Clan for a good amount of time, bro. Outside of that, I don't think I got anything. We actually caught the XDefiant news in real time, so that was good. I don't know if anything else is popping up. I just want to check timeline real quick. I don't think we got shit to do. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, let's get up out of here, man. Let's give our closing notes for this episode 93 of No Cooldown Podcast. What you got to say, brother?
Drink your water, check out your indie games, man. Tap into some heat, and if you see someone like a Danny DeVito in like a black cloak, just understand that my petition went through and we got him to be one of the Xehanorts. I think it would be hard, but
I hate you so much. I hate it so much.
Enjoy your games, man, and just be happy. Drink water for sure.
Facts. My closing note is, of course, make sure you guys check out the podcast on all audio podcast platforms. Again, we're on all major platforms. Type in No Cooldown Podcast everywhere, all socials, No Cooldown Podcast, except for Twitter, we're No Cooldown Pod there. I might have to change that just to be consistent, but don't worry, No Cooldown Pod in the meantime. Make sure you show us some love. We actually, as of before last episode, we hit YouTube partner. We are now YouTube partner. We're getting things set up and we're moving through. So shout out to everybody who supported us on the YouTube side so far. We love you. We appreciate you. More content coming, more dope stuff coming. The summer's approaching, bro. It's almost E3 season, and we about to lock in like crazy for E3 season. We got a bunch of that stuff on the way. We want to bring some more guests through. We got plans for the summer, baby. We got plans for the summer, so make sure y'all stick close, man. Lock in with No Cooldown, baby. We gonna get it going. And make sure hashtag, free celebrate for the jiggle fizz, guys. Free. No, I can't, guys. Please have lives. That's my parting advice. Have lives. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. This has been No Cooldown Podcast, and we are out of here. Peace.